you'll be able to stop sooner and avoid the accident in front of you. And start driving quicker in case the car behind you doesn't have winter tires from Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca.
This is Kathy Ingram, Director of Finance and Development for Souls Harbor Rescue Mission. And as Christmas approaches, we desperately need your help. The need for our programs and the cost of our programs has increased dramatically. And now with the postal strike, our financial donations have decreased as well. This holiday season, please help us help those in need. Donate online at shrmsk.com, via phone at 306-543-2475, or in person at 1650 Angus Street, Regina. Thank you.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It is Tuesday, like you said. Saskatchewan Lotteries, the main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. Barney Shinkaruk pretty much flying solo here, but a lot of guests hopping on the old cager today. Curtis and Colson are here. They got things buttoned up. Colson, you're waving the breaking news flag. What do you got for us?
Justin Dunk, our good friend over there at 3 Down Nation, just shared on X that the Montreal Alouettes have traded quarterback Cody Fajardo to the Edmonton Elks for McLeod Bethel Thompson.
There it is. We now know where Cody Fajardo is going. We just talked to Dunk yesterday, and I said, didn't I ask him McLeod Bethel Thompson or Nick Arbuckle? Where are we going to find out?
Definitely Nick Arbuckle.
And he went Arbuckle.
Yeah.
So now we know we got to trade Fajardo. How long before Edmonton fans start calling for Fajardo for poor Trey Ford? Oof. That's going to be it's a talking point that we can go on here. So there we go. Breaking news. Colson breaks it. Kind of a relay from Justin Dunk. We got 3 hours to talk football. Hey, the Riders, they signed Noah Zerr. It's official. The Sasky weapon is back with the Riders next year. He is going to join us in probably 2 minutes' time. He's standing by. Rob Vanstone from the Riders going to come by and chat football. Now we got lots to chat about. Hockey in hour 2, Les Lazaruk, voice of the Saskatoon Blades. We're going to talk about the Blades. Are they going to be making some deals here? They can't make a run. Aren't they going to restock the cupboard? I don't know. We're going to talk to Les about that. Also, World Junior, 3 kids from Saskatoon on the World Junior team. Never been done. And, of course, Tanner Howe from Prince Albert. We'll talk to Les about that. Arash Madani, a little bit later today. I don't know if he was playing tennis or what he was doing. We've got to back him up a half hour. Arash is coming at about 4:30. Hour 3, Glen Suitor. We got the Indigenous Sports Spotlight with Prince Albert Raiders legend Danny Hodgson. It's an interview from the Monday Nooner podcast. We're going to run part of that. Real interesting path he had. So Danny Hodgson in hour 3. Colson, is there another breaking news?
No, I was going to say my guess is Arash was finally getting into that hammer throwing that we've been talking about.
He did,
That's my guess. And 2, it's Tuesday. Don't we have Benny on too for the SJHL report?
Benny Walchuk. How do we forget about Benny Walchuk?
It's a busy day.
Benny Walchuk. And this is one of the days where we start building the show in the morning and we're like, yeah, we don't have a lot. And then snowball. Here we go. Western Pizza is a great gift for that gift exchange you got to do with your family that you don't really want to do. And you opened up something and you're like, why did I pick this? Just get a $25, $30 Western Pizza gift card. You're all set there. Or if you need something to bring over to the in-laws, the outlaws, girlfriends, boyfriends, wherever, Western Pizza. Pick up a Western Pizza wheel. Be the hero this Christmas. Western Pizza guest hotline, we have them. Just inked his new deal with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Noah Zerr joining us. If you're watching the stream, there you see him. So let me get you're living up in Saskatoon, Noah. Is that where you are right now?
Yeah, spending my off season in Saskatoon right now.
So no trips back to Langenberg, like not even for the 21st Churchbridge Langenberg big senior hockey tilt.
Maybe. I like to go back there when I can, for sure. I was just back in Esterhazy giving a speech for their Minor Awards night, and that was really fun.
Right on, yeah. Congratulations. Probably nice to get this done before Christmas, or does it really matter when it gets done?
Oh, it's awesome to get it done before Christmas. Absolutely. I think it's a deal that makes sense, I think, for both sides, and I'm just excited to get back to the grindstone with a great team and a great culture, and just excited to get back at it.
And then, like, people are talking, right? Like Harris re-ups and the band is kind of getting back together, because last year, people got to remember, Mueller was new. Like, there was a lot of new pieces to this offense.
Yeah, there was a lot of new pieces, a lot of new additions, for sure. I think I was one of them. But I think Coach Mace and all the coaches he brought with him, Mueller, Edwin Harrison, our O-line coach, I think they do such a good job of building a strong culture. And it may have been their first year, but it felt like we had kind of been there grinding with them forever. And they just do such a good job of making it a normal 9 to 5, but helping us get in our rhithm and prepare for every game like we should.
We had Edwin on a couple times on the show. Great guy. And like what you guys, him and you guys, everybody had to deal with the injuries on that offensive line last year, that was no easy task.
Yeah, it was a bit nutty for sure. I think we started I want to say like 12, 13 different guys, but I think just everything we had in that room, I think we had everything we needed in that room. I think our veteran leadership was great, from guys like Yoshi and Philip Blake and Logan Ferlin and Peter Godber. I think they helped the guys that didn't have as much experience kind of get ready for those games and get ourselves mentally prepared and expect to see all the things that maybe we hadn't seen before. So it was that veteran leadership in our room was huge for us, for sure.
It also seems too, and again, it's kind of one of those things where you hear sports and then every different teams and all that, and it's like, oh yeah, they're a close-knit group, and they get, but what this really seems legit. And when we had Trevor on last week, he talked about how he can't wait to go back and the chirping with Samuel Emelis and just that bond that you guys all have. It seems it's not fabricated. It seems, real.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is real. I think our coaches do a great job of kind of fostering that culture, but I think from all the guys we have in that room, I think it's just easy to feel like you're playing college football again. You know what I mean? Just busting your buddy's chops and he busts yours, and we're all kind of laughing and joking, but all still we're taking our jobs very seriously and approaching every day like it's our last day to get ready, but still having fun while we do it. And that's huge.
I want to get to college in a bit because you gave me a great segue there, but just the last thing on the signing and being a Sasky guy, how do you put that into words? How just important that is? You played, I think Perry said you played in Yorkton, and then I'm sure you always dreamed about playing for the green and white, but just how do you put that in words, how special it is for you?
Well, I think for every Sask kid growing up in Saskatchewan, it's really easy to fall in love with the Riders, and I think it was for me from a super young age. I was going to games, and my dad was getting every ticket he could. I remember scrounging up some last minute tickets to the 2013 Grey Cup. Those are memories that I'll have for a lifetime, and it's so surreal to be back home playing with the Riders, getting my first kind of opportunities with the Riders. It's been a really wild ride, and I've enjoyed every single minute of it. From heading in halfway through the Labor Day Classic to starting in the Banjo Bowl. It's been such an up and down roller coaster, but being at home and being with these guys and being in this culture, I think it's really a dream come true, and I just can't wait to do it again next year.
Is there a quick story behind these 2013 Grey Cup tickets? Like something? How did you get them?
I don't know. I have no idea. My dad, I think, was scouring Kijiji or eBay, and there's some guy. I remember some guy maybe on the PR or something for the Riders had these last minute tickets. He must have got them for free or something. But they were great seats. Like
Nice.
he sold them to us for a pretty penny, but they were great seats. We got on-field passes and everything. It was really crazy. For a young
Wow.
Sask kid, it was the nuttiest day of my life for sure.
Dad pulled through Kijiji. I love that.
Yeah.
That's old
I
school,
have
right?
no idea.
Kijiji and used Regina back in the day. Those were good.
Yeah.
Okay, the college days. You're a U of S Husky grad. You protected Mason Nias for years. We just talked to his dad, Perry, here. Mason's coming back to the U of S, right? That's great to see.
Yeah, it's huge. I think it's great for the program. I think it's great for Mason. I think he's been a coach since the day he stepped on a football field. You know, like he's just such a cerebral football player, and I enjoyed playing with him every minute I did. And honestly, he was just a great team guy to be around. But he really he knows how to get the best out of people, and I think he was huge for us through that kind of 2018, 2019, 2021 run. And it's so great to see him coming back to the program and giving back his wealth of knowledge with the game. And I'm just super excited for him and the Huskies and what they're going to do.
Right on. Well, I know it's a busy day, and we just got word on it, so congratulations. Thanks for taking some time. New contract. If you do go back, maybe watch that Langenberg game. You're going to have to buy a round at the tavern.
Absolutely.
You know how that works. Noah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Right on.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Saskatchewan Roughrider signed offensive lineman Noah Zerr joining us here on the all-new Sports Cage. Great news for Rider Nation. Let's take a quick break. We're going to keep the Rider talk going. Rob Vanstone is going to join us from the Riders. Rider historian Rob Vanstone. You are listening to the all-new Sports Cage on 620 CKRM, and we're streaming at sportscage.com.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op, proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually.
Sunday mornings, we're giving you control. It's the 620 CKRM Request and Dedication Show with Ray Allen. Sunday mornings from 10 till noon, 2 hours set aside for you to pick what we play. From the latest to the greatest, it's all in your hands. It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday morning Request and Dedication Show on the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
'Tis the season to win groceries free.
Sherwood Co-op Food Stores presents Season's Eatings.
From now until December 22nd, shop Sherwood Co-op Food Stores in Regina, Southie, and Momart for your chance to win groceries free.
Grand prize gift cards valued from $100 to $1,000.
And the more you shop, the more chances you have to win.
Season's Eatings from Sherwood Co-op Food Stores.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Some exclusions apply. Prices vary by store. See store for details.
The staff of JJ Trucking in Arcola would like to take a moment and consider those things that truly matter during the Christmas season. Merry Christmas and best wishes in the new year from everyone at JJ Trucking. 306-435-2429.
Everyone at Bronco Plumbing and Heating would like to extend the very best to everyone this Christmas. Enjoy the peace and joy that are all around this season. The management and staff of Bronco Plumbing and Heating in Emerald Park wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Please, sir, can I have some warmth?
Warmth? You want warmth?
You didn't call Busy Bee, did you? Now it's winter and all the homeless rats are getting in.
I wish they had fixed that door then. It's dreadfully cold.
Go over there and eat your gruel. They gave you more. If rats are getting in your garage, just call Busy Bee. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Please, sir.
Shut up. Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
It's 1972. Gerald and Angel are listening to their 8-tracks when they realize they need to replace their wooden floor with bright yellow ceramic tile. Yeah!
No, wait. Why?
70s flooring trends were wild, so be thankful it's 2024 and that Flooring Superstore has what you want. From vinyl plank, vinyl tile, hardwood laminate, and everything in between, their stock is immediately available with professional installation for residential or commercial spaces. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor covering at the best price. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
From the Sask Today newsroom, here's what's making news in Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan is usually among the leaders in a bad way when it comes to impaired driving. Don't be a statistic during the holidays. Police are keeping an even sharper eye out.
Sask Today's team of local journalists are on the ground in communities across Saskatchewan, focusing on local topics that matter to you. Visit and bookmark sasktoday.ca and sign up for our daily news digest. sasktoday.ca from Harvard Media, everywhere.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
The Sports Cage. You know what, fellas? I've been getting like text messages just to the personal being like, who's up against who today in the Sports Cage Ultimate Christmas Song Bracket. Thanks to all of you that have been playing along. It's been a lot of fun. We are in the Elite Eight. We have the first seed playing today. Colson.
Yep. Yeah, All I Want for Christmas by Mariah Carey up against Blue Christmas by Elvis. That's our one matchup. And then the other is Mary's Boy Child, Boney M, up against Let It Be Christmas, Alan Jackson.
See, Alan Jackson barely squeezed by against Step Into Christmas from Elton. But he's holding his own here against Boney M.
Both of the polls today are within 1 or 2 votes this entire time. I am blown away. Like, it's neck and neck.
Alan Jackson fans are coming out of the woodwork. You can vote on Twitter and X at the Sports Cage, or you can also text in 936-6262, Capital Ford Lincoln text line, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer.
If anyone was going to take down the Queen of Christmas, it would have to be the King of Rock and Roll, I guess. So,
look at you! You should write for a paper.
I have to write our posts half the time. I'm not great at it, so no.
Speaking of writing for a paper, let's go out on the west. What a segue! Another beautiful segue. Out on the Western Pizza guest hotline, a guy who likes Western Pizza used to do a lot of writing for the local Leader Post, and everybody knows him. He's the historian of the Saskatchewan Roughrider, Rob Vanstone. It's been a while since you and I have chatted, Rob. You're not standing outside. That's an office, right? Don't please.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the alumni lounge at Mosaic Stadium.
So you totally could have lied to me and said, "No, I'm hanging out outside here. I like doing these hits outside."
There's a school of thought where just put him outside and let him freeze. So we do get those suggestions every now and then. So,
hey, not Rider news, but CFL news, pretty interesting. Cody Fajardo. I was really thinking that was the landing spot, and then the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, because they gotta let Trey be Trey and have his ups and downs. Now you got this experience back up there. What do you think about the trade? If people are just tuning in, it's Cody Fajardo to Edmonton. McLeod Bethel Thompson is going to Montreal. What do you think, Rob?
I love a trade like that because both players are proven commodities, as opposed to making a trade for like a future draft pick or future considerations or an unproven player. In this case, I think there's a pretty good book on both players. They're both, Cody will turn 33 on March 29th. I remember that because my birthday is March 30th, and McLeod Bethel Thompson is mid 30ish. So I think new surroundings will benefit both of them. And McLeod Bethel Thompson quietly put up some really nice numbers last year, and I don't think he necessarily got as much credit or has received as much credit as he's deserved for being just a really good CFL quarterback. And I hope Cody gets a chance in Edmonton to show that he's the player that Montreal fans saw for a lot of his duration there, and Rider fans saw for a lot of his time here as well.
That's what's your take on that? Are they going to be calling for Cody early and probably often? With Trey, young guy, kind of want him to get some callus, let him play. But now you got this experience back up there. Like, how do you think that juggling is going to go?
I think it'll go okay. Edmonton, for some reason, has for a long time escaped the quarterback controversies that seem to rage in other areas. I remember when growing up in Edmonton had Tom Wilkinson and Bruce Lemmerman, and they were pretty much interchangeable a lot of the time. And it really didn't become, pro Wilkinson, pro Bruce Lemmerman. They had, Damon Allen and Matt Dunnigan, and they got through that pretty well. Warren Moon and Tom Wilkinson. They won a Grey Cup in 2005. And, Ricky Ray was a starting quarterback, but Jason Moss came in time after time and made some huge contributions, especially in the playoffs coming off the bench. But it never became, it's like the roles seem to just be accepted in Edmonton traditionally. But I should mention that was before social media went crazy.
Yeah.
Different game now. I remember a dinner with doubles, and it was a really good point where, it was raised that, Darian was the Riders' first quarterback of the social media era and the first big time quarterback of that era. And that he basically had a lot on his shoulders that a lot of other Rider quarterbacks haven't. So I'm citing some history in Edmonton, but that's all pre-social media, which tends to make the discussion a little bit, it's not just coffee row anymore or letters to the editor, right?
Yeah. Trevor Harris is back. Was there ever a doubt in your mind? And what do you think about his deal?
I mean, whatever terms you can arrive at to re-sign an all-star quarterback, why wouldn't you? I mean, honestly, to me, I mean, Trevor said it was a no-brainer. I think it was approached that way by Rider management as well. And what reason was there not to re-sign Trevor Harris? People mention his age. Well, you got to remember that by the time he was 29 years old, he'd only thrown 94 passes in the Canadian Football League. So it's a different kind of odometer than as far as Trevor Harris and some other quarterbacks. And there have been injuries the past couple of seasons, but the injuries didn't prevent Trevor Harris from becoming the all-star quarterback in the West Division this year. And the type of injuries he sustained, they weren't the type that you would normally attribute to age, like kind of nagging injuries like hamstrings or groin injuries. It was somebody basically rolling up on and somebody falling on him. And that could happen just as easily to a 25-year-old as it can to a quarterback in his 30s. So I think that it's sort of the narrative there isn't, I think, entirely fair. I think what you have to look at is his body of work over the course of last season. And he was a huge contributor to this team. And I think it was an easy decision to re-sign him.
Yeah, a good point about the injury. You forgot, the old man injuries like we have, like gout. I
got gout. Allopurinol is one of the great medications of all time.
It's it is. These young guys don't get it. Colchicine, the Colchicine pills. That's the first thing I pack, even before a passport. But we could digress.
We can finish. We can fill the entire rest of the segment with a detailed discussion about uric acid. And crystallization in the big toe. It really hurts.
Oh yeah, just praying I don't get it in the elbow and knee like my brother. Noah Zerr today, he signs. We just had him on. If you're just joining us, are the dominoes going to start to fall here? Do you think with the Harris and just because we got to remember, like Mark Mueller, these guys now they got the runway now, right? Last year was year one. Do you think that we're going to start seeing, and I know I'm not asking for insider baseball here or anything, a lot of those dominoes fall and a lot of the guys signing here?
I think, you have to get the biggie done, as much as anything to determine how much salary cap room you have. And also, I think part of the dynamic is how much salary cap room do the Rough Riders have in 2024 that they could use to pay signing bonuses that to pretty much fill up their cap-wise, or how much do they have to wait to 2025? The year starts anew, and then there's money freed up cap-wise. So I think that might influence the discussion a bit, is just how much of a signing bonus can you wedge in to the 2024 accounting. But, you look at baseball, once Juan Soto signs, then you start seeing a lot of action elsewhere. You take a look at the Rough Riders as a microcosm of that, and once you've got the quarterback in place, then you can address everything else. But the elephant in the room is always the quarterback, and you've got to address that. And that was done rather emphatically and efficiently.
Is there anything else league-wise, free agents that maybe you're surprised that haven't signed yet, or does?
Not especially. I mean, there's so much time now between now and the free agent window in early February, and sometimes it just comes down to basic accounting. We're still not even a month past the Grey Cup, so we are a month and a day past the Grey Cup, so there's some things to sort out. But I mean, a lot of it got tied up. People were wondering, is Trey Ford going to become a free agent? No, he resigns with Edmonton. What about Davis Alexander? He resigns with Montreal. So a lot of those pieces that people were talking about as prospective free agents have ended up staying where they are, at least in terms of the quarterbacking position. But I think that's the priority everywhere, is get the quarterbacking situation solidified. That's happened in Montreal today. That's happened in Edmonton today.
Can we shift to hockey quick? Do you got a couple minutes for hockey?
Sure. Go Jets.
What
San Jose tonight. So,
what do you think about the World Junior? Like, pretty good for Sasky hockey, where we got the 3 Saskatoon boys on and Tanner Howe from Prince Albert. Like, you've covered hockey your whole life. I'm 27 years in the biz ish. I don't remember us ever having, and I don't remember us ever having even close to 4 Sasky players on that team.
Yeah, it's a pretty good representation, and I think it's a pretty good team. The thing that really told me something about this World Junior team is when Andrew Crystal was one of the final cuts. He's a member of the Kelowna Rockets, and just a tremendous player, close friend of Connor Bedard, former teammate of Connor Bedard's in minor hockey, in AAA hockey in the Vancouver area. And Andrew Crystal is such a terrific player, and he didn't make that team, which tells you the type of team that is. Because I thought he was just a shoo-in given his talent. So I think that's a good sign in terms of the caliber of that team. Now you got to remember, I mean, Connor Bedard is still eligible to play in the tournament. Like there's some elite teenagers who aren't in there, but I think every team has. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? So I remember I covered the World Juniors in Red Deer in '94, turning 1995 during the NHL lockout. My goodness, that was something. That was just at best on best and no asterisks, and what a tournament that was.
That's the gold medal where they all have the white cowboy hats, don't they? And they're all Who was all on? Is that Jason Allison?
Jason Allison, the team. Jeff Friesen was on that team. Jamie Storr was one of the goaltenders. Man, we're going back. Alexander Daig, Ryan Smith.
They were loaded.
Man, that was a terrific tournament.
They were loaded. And hey, we got Al Murray, right, doing the scouting for this, and Pete Anholt heading up this team. So Sasky is well represented. It's the only thing, there's a lot nervous times for Sasky as well, because if we don't win, then they're going to be like, blame it on Sask.
Blame it on the Sportscage. They'll just come back at you for raising the specter of blaming it on Saskatchewan. Now you've ignited that fuse.
Oh well, I've been put in worse situations. You're happy holidays. I don't know. Are you ready? Like, do you just go shopping at the Rider store? Does that just cover everything off?
Actually, the various pet stores in the city, along with the Rider store. I mean, I pretty much just buy a new Rider T-shirt every 2 weeks. Better than doing laundry. And my wife and I have discussed Christmas at length this year, and we're probably not going to exchange presents with each other, but Candy is going to get bully sticks and bones and toys and more bones. She loves the bacon and cheese flavored bone. So the dog's gonna have a mountainous supply of Christmas presents, and we'll just be sitting there, enabling her and catering to her every need and whim.
And you just hang out in your Rider gear and order Western pizza. Perfect.
And we'll put the Rider scarf on Candy and really live it up big.
Yeah. So. Thanks so much, Rob. All the best this holidays. Safe travels if you're traveling, all that stuff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll be traveling up and down the Louvain, so wish me luck with that one. A lot of navigating to be done.
Well, I just saw a snowfall warning, so better get home.
Uh-oh. Thanks for the heads up. Merry Christmas, Barney. Thanks for your time. Take care. Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Rob. Rob Vanstone from the Riders, historian, long-time writer with the Regina Leader Post as well. Yeah, you guys are way too young. You don't remember that. Look up, pull that up, and we'll talk about it at some point. The 1995 Canada World Junior team. It was like a borderline NHL team of rookies. They were so good. I can't remember. I'm going to look it up, the scores, too. Can't remember if it came close. Russia had to be the game we played in the final. But we'll continue the hockey talk going here. Let's take a quick break. We got the SJHL report coming up. Benny Walchuk will join us. It is the all-new Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
This is Kathy Ingram, Director of Finance and Development for Souls Harbor Rescue Mission. And as Christmas approaches, we desperately need your help. The need for our programs and the cost of our programs has increased dramatically. And now with the postal strike, our financial donations have decreased as well. This holiday season, please help us help those in need. Donate online at shrmsk.com, via phone at 306-543-2475, or in person at 1650 Angus Street, Regina. Thank you.
Yorkton Auction Center wants to take the time to thank you all for a great year and wish you and your family all the best into the new year. Merry Christmas, friends. All the best for this holiday season. YorktonAuctionCenter.com.
Merry Christmas from everyone at Johnston's Grain. May the new year find you and your loved ones healthy and full of life. All the best for the Christmas season from Johnston's Grain. Johnston'sGrain.com.
It's here, the year-end clear-out sale. Check out this GM-certified pre-owned low-mileage 2024 GMC Terrain Elevation with all-wheel drive and heated seats and a sharp black wheel package. We have over 40 to choose from, starting from $31,995 plus taxes. Rates as low as 4.99% for 24 months OAC, and financing is available on all GM-certified pre-owned vehicles. Plus roadside assistance and a 150-plus point inspection. It's the year-end clear-out sale on certified pre-owned vehicles at the Capital Auto Mall on the corner of Pasqua and Rochdale in Regina.
Stock number 245638.
Time now for the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League report on the all-new Sportscage. The SJHL report is brought to you by Southie Mainline, the Mainline Automotive Group's newest king of trucks. Southie Mainline, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive, every time. Guaranteed.
Good point. You know what? Rob Vanstone, if you're still listening, I forgot to ask you your votes. Good point, Commissioner Colson. So Rob, send in your votes. If you want All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey up against Elvis, Blue Christmas.
It's tied again.
Neck and neck.
Yeah, it's just been flipping back and forth.
That's how it should be in the Elite Eight of the Eastern Conference. And then on the other side, we have
Mary's Boy Child, Boney M, Let It Be Christmas, Alan Jackson. That one's also within one vote right now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boney M fans versus Alan Jackson fans, Mariah Carey against Elvis. What a day what a time to be alive. Isn't it, fellas, on the all-new Sportscage?
Not as good as the 95 World Juniors, though, apparently.
Yeah, 95, Todd Harvey, Jeff O'Neill, Eric Daze. That guy was a force. And Chicago Blackhawks had a good career. You see him on the stream right there if you're watching it. Benny Walchuk. It's time for the SJHL report. For Southie Mainline Chrysler. Are you cooking something, Benny? Do you have pizza pops in the microwave? Or is that Curtis?
No,
is that
we're baking. We're baking today. So.
Oh, holiday baking?
Yeah, they did pierogies in the morning and baking in the afternoon. Family Christmas getting prepared here for the Walchuk household.
What do you got? Like a sugar? What do you run? A sugar cookie, gingerbread? What do you got?
Yeah, a little bit of that. We did a s'mores cookie up. We've done some. We're gonna do some marshmallow balls and jams. Yep, all the good stuff.
How do you get all this done? That's impressive. And you pet a hat in the morning.
Exactly. Yep.
Jeez, impressive. The SJHL report is for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time. They hold the payments for 90 days right now on a new vehicle at Southie Mainline. So if you got to do some driving, baking in the back and pierogies and all that, getting a new ride from Southie Mainline Chrysler. Can we start with the World Junior A Challenge? Team West ends up knocking off Team East for the, let's call it the bronze medal or the 3-4 game. But really it was Sweden and the USA's tournament this year.
Yeah, it was. USA, like you said, they're part of that development program, so they pretty much play together all the time. They played together growing up, so they were used to each other. And of course, Sweden's team was pretty much the team that was at the Hlinka Gretzky Cup against the best major junior players in the world this past summer. So it was a good team. It was maybe a little bit outmatched with the Canadian squad, but it was good for Canada West to kind of get some momentum, get some positivity out of there. Regina's Cohen Semth, who played for the Regina Pats Canadians a couple of years ago. He's a member of the Flin Flon Bombers. He had a couple of goals. We had Ellis Miette, who of course is just down the road from Lumsden. He played with the Patsies. He had a goal and assist as well for the local town. So yeah, it wasn't the showing that I'm sure Hockey Canada was looking for against those elite teams, but we'll see. It's maybe one of those years that it's just the batch of players wasn't maybe as top as maybe other years like they did last year winning it. So it's still a great event, and I'm sure all the players are involved. We're pretty happy to represent Canada and get that Hockey Canada experience in.
Yeah, curious what they do next year if they retool it. Maybe add teams again, because I think when I was reading up, at times they've gone up, so there's been about 6 teams in this?
Yeah, there was. Well, Denmark's team in 2015 or 14, it was their World Junior team. They had Oliver Bjorkstrand, Nikolai Ehlers, of course, first-round picks in the NHL draft, and they dominated that tournament. They're basically major junior pro players playing against some junior A players, so they were pretty good. They had Brock Besser, Kyle Connor played in the tournament as well, so it's a tournament that's had some great talent. But yeah, you've had your Denmarks, you've had your Switzerlands before, you've had the Czechia, Slovakias in the tournaments before, so I think it just with cost-wise and putting everything together, they didn't want to get too many teams in, but I think it needs to add a couple more teams just to kind of make it maybe a little bit more prevalent.
What a cool, I guess, outpouring of support. The town of Assiniboia. We had Cody Mapes on Friday, and he was just saying, like, how many billets they had options for and all that. Like, bravo to Assiniboia.
Yeah, it's outstanding. It's just small town Saskatchewan. Of course, he alluded to a couple other communities. Actually, town of Esterhazy had 18 or 19 billets already. They could have housed them as well. But yeah, it's a great facility. First off, if you ever been down to Assiniboia, it's an absolutely stunning facility there for the hockey arena, and just shows that what small town Saskatchewan's all about. So of course, they'll play their last game here tonight when they take on the Yorkton Terriers, and they'll be back at Crescent Point Place on Thursday when they take on the Humboldt Broncos. So it's kind of nice to have it back at home here before the holiday break. I know they have a couple more games in the weekend, but I'm sure the Weyburn Red Wings and I'm sure the Billets are probably getting used to some of those players in their houses the last week or so. But I'm sure the Red Wings and their organization will be happy to be back home.
Yeah, Yorkton is in Assiniboia tonight. Melfort is in Notre Dame. Nipawin in Flin Flon. As we kind of get going in here to the Christmas break, Benny, what if there was a surprise this year? Maybe a surprise team that's doing well in the league. Who would that be?
I think Melfort, you knew were going to be good. Maybe not as good as they are right now on the 12-game winning streak. I know they lost a lot of talent last year from their roster. Their whole top line, 2 of their top defensemen, their starting netminder are all gone. But it's a great job by Trevor Blevins recruiting and bringing in some talent from the Western Hockey League with Nick Andrusiak and Riley Cote from the BCHL. So maybe a surprise that they're doing so well and being so ahead. I know Yorkton Terriers thought they were going to be pretty good, maybe not as good as they thought. And of course, with the forfeiture, they could have been even up there with the Melfort Mustangs right at the top of the SJHL standings. So that's another team. I know Kinders had a good start. They're kind of dropping down off. They were a good surprise at the start. And maybe Battleford's a little bit. I know Battleford got, I know, of course, Braden Komosko going back to Humboldt, his hometown, to coach. And they had the coaching change right at the beginning of the year. And then Marty Smith comes in, and they're right with the top half of that standings, and they're doing a very good job. A big part of that is Justin Merrick returning back from the Western Hockey League. So maybe a team like the Battleford North Stars, who have been very good the last decade or so. Maybe you didn't expect them to be so high in the standings, but Marty Smith and Owen Lamb, the coaching staff, they're doing a pretty good job.
If there was a team in the second half of the season that you would say don't sleep on them, maybe they're, like you said, they're not not doing it right now. Who would that be?
That's a tough question. We talked about Melville. Melville was a top half. They kind of dropped off a little bit, but I think they're playing with a little bit of kind of fire in their butts. I know everybody says they lost their leading scorer, which is tough to lose Caden Jury, but they're a team that's going to say, hey, we might have lost our top scorer, but we're still right in there. You just got a goaltender, Ben Lorette, who's very good, some great talent. So that's a team that could surprise. They get a little bit of an easier schedule here in the second half of the season as well. Yorkton Terriers have an easier schedule as well, as they played a lot of home games in the first half of their campaign. So those are a couple of teams, and then you have the teams like you talk about Kindersley. I think they're going to have a little bit better second half. I know they'll be on the road for tons, but the Flin Flon Bombers are a good hockey club. They lost their top scorer, Carter Anderson, but they're still finding ways to win. And I think they are a team that's maybe thought with their last year as their team to win the championship. They came up short. They thought it was a little bit of a rebuild, but Mike Reagan's done a good job of putting that team back together with the recruiting and getting a goaltender to make Matthew keeper. So it's so wide open. It's been probably as much wide open as I've ever had in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League last 5 or 6 years. So it could be a very, very interesting here in the second half.
We are not going to forget about the fine people in Ituna, Saskatchewan. The big game Friday. They're opening up the barn.
Talk about pierogies, and I think there's gonna be a lot of pierogies being made there on Friday nights. Yes, at the Ituna Arena. There's so many individuals in that community that deserve a shout out. Big one is Jack Shimko. Jack's almost 70 years old, and he was putting glass in the rink himself, I believe, at one point during the build a little bit. So it's a community that always comes together, and it's great to have them finally have that community and the building open. But yeah, big game. Ituna Avalanche. I think they play Strasbourg on Friday nights. At the Ituna Arena, I think it's called. I'm sure there'll be some packaged 6-pack of pierogies probably for sale, and some good burgers as well. So it should be a great time there in Ituna. And like you said, we talked about in the past, a great community, and nice to see them get the barn. And it's probably going to be a little bit chilly then there. So make sure if you're going there, make sure you bundle up a little bit.
You guys craving pierogies over there? Like, we've talked about it so much in this. It's first 100 people should get a plate of pierogies into that new Ituna barn. So what is Christmas like for you? Like, do you hunker down and watch hockey? What do you do? Because it's probably a nice chance to get away a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Just gonna visit the family, go to the girlfriend's family for a couple of days, and work a little bit, and prepare, because we're December 30th. We get right back at it with the Yorkton Malville New Year's Day rivalry game. So no, it's get together and eat a lot of pierogies, eat a lot of cabbage rolls and sausage. We have about 5 or 6 kinds of pierogies for our Christmas Eve supper, so it's always great for that, and a lot of snacks and everything. Maybe hit the ODR a couple of times, and enjoy myself and kind of rest up.
Yeah, got to dangle. Get out there and dug. And you got that young fast metabolism, so you can hammer back the pierogies. For me, it's like by day 3, it's only sweats. It's like, oh.
I'm usually a guy that goes into both shifts. We have about 2 or 3 shifts with our family, our Walchuk side, so I'm usually in for both of them. I'm going to try that this year because I've been starving myself a little bit for Christmas time.
What do you guys play? Kaiser, cribbage. What do you got? What do you? Yeah,
Kaiser. Yeah, Kaiser 3-spot for sure. A little bit of crib action as well. So yeah, it's there's some people in my family you don't want to play Kaiser with because they get a little bit too competitive. But yeah,
really,
crib's big too. Yeah,
I've never played crib in my life. It's embarrassing, I know. And Kaiser, it's any kind of Ukrainian, not just to label Ukraine, but it's competitive stuff. It's elbows up Kaiser, especially at Christmas after a few Daiboja. And I suck at Kaiser. Like on the bus, I was the last guy you would ask for a Kaiser partner. I just don't have the attention span. Poker, you get me around a poker table, though. I like that stuff. Kaiser.
But everybody has their own rules. Depending what area of the province is, there's always different kind of Kaiser rules. So you got to make sure you kind of settle those down before you even start, because you get halfway in the game and somebody pulls out their own Kaiser rules. So
that's how we play it in Kenora. Well, that's not how we play it in Hafford. No, that's good. And then it's like, I'm always the worst. Someone will ask me, why the hell did you bid there? I don't know. I thought I had a good card. Or it's like, why didn't you go 7 or 8? No. Because I don't really know, and I don't like this game. I'm just filling in. Benny, okay, who do you want to vote for? Who's your pick? Mariah Carey against Elvis?
Oh, I'm going to go Elvis. Elvis, yeah.
Okay. That's surprising there. And then we have Alan Jackson against Boney M.
I got to go with Big Al. I like Alan.
Let it be Christmas, Alan Jackson. That's a nice whiskey sipping song right there. Benny, lots of fun, man. Travel safe. Have fun baking and cooking. And then, looking forward to everything in the new year, my man.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and be safe as well.
You too. That is the SJHL report. Benny Walchuk joining us here on the all-new Sports Cage. It is for Southie Mainline Chrysler, the new king of trucks in Southie, Saskatchewan. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. Right now, they got hold the payments for 90 days up there. Time for a quick break. We are streaming sportscage.com. Hammer the subscribe button on YouTube for us as well. And as always, we are on the home of the ultimate Christmas song bracket, 620 CKRM.
Listen weekdays at noon for Saskag Today on 620 CKRM with your host Ryan Young along with Doug Falconer and Kevin Hirsch, offering the most extensive agricultural news coverage with precision weather meteorologists. In an industry that moves fast, stay updated with the latest, most reliable information in ag news, prices and trends, all in one place. Available anytime at saskagtoday.com. Saskag Today, your trusted source for all things agriculture on 620 CKRM.
Local communities are at the heart of what we do. Last year, more than 200,000 Saskatchewan people reached out for help through United Way's 211 service. When our friends and neighbors struggle, communities struggle. With your support, we can answer the call and connect to hope and help. Each of us have the ability to be there for our neighbors. Show your local love by donating today.
Visit unitedwayregina.ca and change lives today. Change begins with support.
A bad investment decision is pretty much guaranteed to be a waste of your time and money. Today we live in an ever-changing, fast-paced world with information moving in the blink of an eye. Now, more than ever, you need to ensure that you're consistently making good investment decisions. Good investment decisions will compound your money over time and protect your capital while helping you avoid making dumb mistakes.
Don't guess with your money. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions at 546-2533. Brian specializes in helping his clients make smart investment decisions.
Hi, my name is Carrington. Thank you to all the staff at Jim Pattison Children's Hospital. I hope you have a great holiday season. Thanks to everyone who has donated over the years and made Christmas special for kids like me.
Hi, I'm George Leith, Managing Partner and Chief Revenue Officer at Harvard Media. On behalf of all our management and staff, we'd like to wish you a very happy holiday. And thanks for all your continued support. And we look forward to entertaining you in the new year.
The Holiday Big Check event is on now at Sport Check. From December 12th to 24th, shop savings up to 60% off. Find amazing deals on top brands such as Nike, Under Armour, Oakley, Columbia, and more. Say it with sport this holiday season.
The all-new Sports Cage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
A lot to go back and listen to if you're just tuning in so far in the program. Curtis and Colson will get it all chopped up and up their podcast form and video form. Noah Zerr, Saskatchewan Roughriders offensive lineman from Langenburg, Saskatchewan. He joined us off the start of the show because he just inked his new deal with the Riders. So good news there on the offensive side of the ball. Noah Zerr obviously is forgot about this. BC Lions second rounder in 2022 was Noah Zerr. University of Saskatchewan. 41 games there. Helped the Huskies win the Hardy Cup and the UTEC Bowl. He was U Sport first team All-Canadian West All-Star. Just a great guy, too. Had a good chat with him. So he is signed. We had interviewed him. And then Rob Vanstone joined us as well, historian. So Rob might have sent in his votes, too, Colson. It's Chikai. Gout is now a lower body injury. That's what he sent. He didn't check in. He didn't sign in the voting. It's neck and neck in the Sports Cage bracket. Who's moving on to the Final Four? Mariah Carey is up against Alan Jackson. Let It Be Christmas. Benny Walchuk just voted for it there. If you're watching the stream, there you see it. Somebody was asking about this the other day. If we could post the up-to-date stat, maybe after today.
Yeah, after a round is complete, I've been posting the full thing. So
okay,
I don't want to spam everyone with a new post every 4 minutes. Oh, my X isn't loading. I think we crashed X. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so no, after today's round, I'll post another updated one. Tomorrow, if you want to call it this, I guess it'll be the Final Four. So, yeah.
Just to think where we started and where we are going to be in final. I want to go, if you go on to X, you can see, but it's not all the votes on X. Mary's Boychild, slight lead right now over Alan Jackson. And All I Want for Christmas, Mariah Carey, and Elvis Presley are neck and neck on Twitter. We do have some votes coming in on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. Clayton, second straight day, he was wasn't, I thought he was boycotting after Metro lost, but he's back in. Attaboy Clayton, back on the horse. He's voting for Alan Jackson. TJE and Davidson, go Cyclones, voting Elvis and Jackson all the way.
Yeah, the mail-in ballots, if we want to call them that.
Mail-in ballots.
The text votes are heavy Alan Jackson and heavy Elvis. So,
you know, and I think it's because a lot of people, they say they're sick of Mariah Carey. All I Want for Christmas. You all know the song. I don't need to sing it. But really, you want that song around the holidays. Don't you, Curtis?
Yeah. Why not?
Dynamite chip in. That's what we pay him the big bucks for. What a chip in. Yeah, no, and then so final four. Dolly Parton has moved on. And who was yet? Feliz Navidad.
Yep.
Made the final four.
Yep.
What a world.
It's the international market, you know. It's the same thing with soccer. In North America, we're like, soccer. But you go overseas, huge deal.
Somebody messaged me today saying they hope Hard Candy Christmas wins. I think they just tug at my heartstrings a bit because they know how much I love that song. Oh, Roscoe. We knew Roscoe. We always knew it was Roscoe coming in. Elvis and Alan Jackson and Metro. Everyone's still hanging on to it. Where were all you Metro fans that day when he got upset? And what time are we running? We're running this
till 4:30.
Oh, so you only have a half hour left.
Yeah, we're
vote.
Closing the polls early today. It's those Christmas holiday hours.
There we go. If you have the senior hockey player that the gentleman in Ituna that was putting in glass at like 70 some years old, forget what he said his name was, that's the kind of guy or the player or the Zamboni driver that you can nominate for the senior hockey dangler of the week. All you have to do is text the word dangler, that's it, just that word, to 306-936-6262, and then you can submit who you want to be the dangler of the week, and then you get to win a $100 gift card from the Canadian Brew House, possibly. 936-6262. Around the region tonight, we talked about the SJ. We'll get back to that in a bit. Prairie Junior Hockey League, Pilot Butte at the Regina Silver Foxes at the no concessioned Doug Wickenheiser Arena, NOD style, 7:30 puck drop there. The Rebels of Assiniboia, they are taking on the first place Fort Knox Thunder in the Junior B Loop this evening. No games in the AAA Midget Loop for men. Pat C's home to Notre Dame tomorrow. Female AAA, no games this evening. WHL, although the Pats are off, we're going to talk to Les Lazaruk at the start of the 4 o'clock hour. The Blades are also enjoying extra time off here. They're off. But the Dub's still firing. Moose Jaw is in Brandon this evening. Swift Current will take on Lethbridge. Actually, interesting game there. Lethbridge missing Yager, of course, and Swift Current needs to keep piling up the wins. We also have Spokane in Portland, Prince George in Kelowna, and the Prince Albert Raiders. Just want to make sure this is right. Yeah, Prince Albert Raiders are in Edmonton to take on the Oil Kings, 7 p.m. puck drop. Heck, you know another good game around town tonight? Where's the best concession that we always talk about? The Ritchie. Al Ritchie. The Aces and the Regina Pats Blues. Bantam AA all Regina clash. It's going to go down. I think puck drop is 7:45. I should probably know that. It's at the Al Ritchie. Like I said, Les Lazaruk coming up after 4 o'clock. Les, voice of the Saskatoon Blades. We're going to talk World Juniors. We're going to talk Blades. Heck, we'll even ask him about the Saskatchewan Roughriders clutch performer in hour 2 as well. And then Arash Madani a little bit later today, but Arash Madani will join us at about 4:30. Keep the votes coming on the Sportscage Ultimate Christmas Song Bracket, 936-6262. Elvis against Mariah. Alan Jackson against Boney M. Coulson says he's shutting her at 4:30. It is the all-new Sportscage. Hammer the subscribe button on YouTube, please. Even if you don't watch the stream, do us a favor because we're so close to 1,000. And if we get to 1,000, Curtis gets some sort of bonus, and we all want Curtis to have a nice bonus for Christmas. Sportscage.com, YouTube, subscribe. And as always, we are on the radio dial, 620 CKRM.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's mostly cloudy and it's minus 16 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op. Proud supporter of our community with over 500 donations to local charities and nonprofits annually, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina. For those who can, Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. Environment Canada has issued a snowfall warning for much of southern Saskatchewan. Heavy snowfall with 10 to 20 centimeters total is expected. Snowfall will move into western parts of the province tomorrow morning and into eastern parts of the province tomorrow afternoon. The snow will be heavy at times with a widespread 10 centimeters expected. Pockets of up to 20 centimeters are also possible, especially from Kindersley to Moose Jaw to Estevan. The snow will ease by daybreak on Thursday. I'll have more for you in your precision weather coming in a couple of minutes. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wants Justin Trudeau to call a snap election after Chrystia Freeland resigned yesterday. It happened just hours before she was set to deliver the fall economic statement. Poilievre says it was a chaotic Liberal clown show.
On the day they were introducing this $62 billion deficit, global markets took note and the dollar plunged below 70 cents U.S., the lowest it's been in ages. Never once got that low under Stephen Harper.
He is joined by Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet, who says Trudeau should call an election in the new year. Health Minister Jeremy Cockrell has been found in violation of the Members' Conflict of Interest Act for his past involvement with Fortress Windows and Doors. Conflict of Interest Commissioner Maurice Haroff ruled that Cockrell's connection to Fortress, owned by his in-laws, led to a breach of the Act between June 2021 and December 2021. Fortress had government contracts with SaskTel and Battleford's Housing Authority. Haroff recommended only a reprimand, noting that Cockrell sought advice but didn't act intentionally. Haroff also cleared Cockrell of any wrongdoing regarding shares in two helium companies. Regina has wrapped up its 2024 construction program, investing $231 million into major infrastructure projects. According to a media release today from the city, work included improving roads, sidewalks, water systems, and parks. Highlights include $13.6 million spent on 7.1 kilometers of major roadways and $32 million for upgrading facilities and recreational spaces. The city also added 1.4 kilometers of multi-use pathways, new traffic signals, and school zone safety features. Deputy City Manager Curtis Stoney says the upgrades prepare Regina for growth while improving community safety and services. And the last of your debt is finally paid off, and that money is set aside in your budget for loan repayments is now free to be used elsewhere. But what's next for that spare cash? IG Wealth Management's Mia Karmelik says looking at how much can be saved is important.
Step one is identify what your short-term and long-term goals are. Step two is figure out your budget. So you can't do any of this without understanding what's coming in, what income are you making versus what's leaving.
Karmelik says financial goals help decide whether money should be saved in a high-interest savings account or invested in the markets. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
'Tis the season to win groceries free.
Sherwood Co-op Food Stores presents Season's Eatings.
From now until December 22nd, shop Sherwood Co-op Food Stores in Regina, Southie, and Beaumont for your chance to win groceries free.
Grand prize gift cards valued from $100 to $1,000.
And the more you shop, the more chances you have to win.
Season's Eatings from Sherwood Co-op Food Stores.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Some exclusions apply. Prices vary by store. See store for details.
Put yourself in the driver's seat of the sporty Mercedes-Benz CLA 250, the timeless C300, or the versatile GLC 300 SUV. The choice is yours. Now leasing your new Mercedes-Benz is easier than ever. For $399 bi-weekly plus tax and zero down, you can step into the luxury you deserve. Your luxury, your choice. Your Mercedes-Benz. Book your test drive today.
And now your 620 CKRM precision weather forecast for Linex Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialist in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Tonight, partly cloudy and a low of minus 27. Tomorrow, becoming mostly cloudy with some light snow late, about 1 to 2 centimeters possible, and a high of minus 16. And then tomorrow night, snow showers, 4 to 8 centimeters possible, and a low of minus 21. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's partly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 33, and it's minus 16. Regina is mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 26, and it's minus 16 here as well. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
Whether Smokies after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hour 2 of the show, Barney Shinkera, Colson, Curtis, on Tuesday, like he said, for Saskatchewan Lotteries. If you missed it, off the start of the show, we had Noah Zerr, new contract for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, former U of S Husky, joined us. You can go back and listen to that. We're actually going to run that to end the show again. We're going to run it again. We're going to run Noah. I like that conversation one more time for you coming up later, or you can always get it in podcast form. Also, the big news that Justin Dunk broke, but Colson kind of broke it as well. Trey Ford's got some competition in Edmonton. Cody Fajardo will be going to the Edmonton Elks. The other way, McLeod Bethel Thompson. Yeah, see, that's why it doesn't. I guess it does make sense kind of a little bit now, but so those are the two breaking news pieces today here on the all-new Sports Cage. Also, go into the Capital Ford Lincoln text line quick. Did you get these, Colson? We got some votes here. We got Elvis and Boney M from Frank said, "Go Bronx, go." Must be a Balcarres fan. Speaking of that, senior hockey. If there's any games around the area tonight, let me know. Senior hockey report coming up Friday. I was actually speaking to Cool Bet. When we talked to Lester here, I might put a wager down on the World Juniors. Coolbet.co's got that right now, right above their senior hockey wagers. God, I won last night. Hey?
You had a good margin there.
Were you cheering for me?
What was I doing last night? I wasn't paying attention to the game.
Yeah,
so
it wasn't that great. And then I took Jefferson to score an anytime touchdown, so that was like double dip. Felt good about myself. Probably I'll be gone tonight on something. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline. We are joined by voice of the Saskatoon Blades and Saskatoon Berries. Am I missing anything, Lester?
That's what people are saying. That's enough, Barney.
Okay. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Okay, we'll put the World Junior stuff at the end. First off, Saskatoon Blades, where they are right now, they have to be sellers.
You'd have to think so. You'd have to think so, Barney. Absolutely. 17, 10, and 4 for 38 points. First place in the East Division, second place in the Eastern Conference. Normally, you would think, no, you're going to be a buyer. You're going to stand pat at the very least. But when you consider two things, they don't have a pick in the 2025 prospects draft in the WHL until the 4th round. And in 2026, they don't have a pick until the 8th round. So they need some draft picks, and they need to sell off some of their more valuable assets. Hello, Tanner Molendyk comes to mind right away, and see if you can get some of those picks back and utilize them, because if you don't, then you're looking at a world of hurt. I mean, this is what happened with the team back in 2013 when they hosted Memorial Cup. They traded away a lot of draft picks, they traded away a lot of prospects, and it took them 5 non-playoff years before they finally got back into the postseason. So that's what you're looking at.
Molendyk, let's start with him. First off, where do you think would be a somebody kicking the tires? Where would be a good landing spot for Molendyk right now?
Well, a great landing spot would be Prince George, because he's from nearby McBride, as close as anything can be to Prince George out in the interior of BC. But, I mean, that's close. That's reasonably close. I mean, there was a big crowd in Prince George when the Blades were there to see him play. So I would say there's a team that, probably the tops in the BC division would probably, if they're going to make a run at it this year and go up against Everett, that would be a team that should be kicking the tires on him. But there are others. And I mean, maybe Spokane, maybe in Alberta, a Calgary might want to throw Molendyk together with Carter Yakimchuk. Can you imagine those two together? That would be phenomenal for the Hitmen to do that sort of a thing, or Medicine Hat to maybe do something like that. But
wow.
Problem that I have though is that there's old school GMs and there's the more contemporary ones. And Willie Desjardins, I think, would be an old school guy. Mark Lamb in Prince George would be an old school guy. They tend to not make big trades like that involve sending away a lot of draft picks and picking up that short-term rental that's really, really good that could put you over the top. They like to think a little more long-term than just the immediate season sort of a thing. So it may end up being somebody totally, totally different, and it may even be an Everett Silvertips who look really good.
Do they have a lot to give? That's because I was thinking about
they've got all
Everett.
kinds of draft picks. I think they've got all kinds of draft picks, to tell the truth. I think Mike Fraser, taking over from Dennis Williams, has done a heck of a job as general manager, and I think they've got the assets to give to the Blades to get Molendyk, should they choose to go in that direction. They're so good right now, though. Do they really need him? That's the question that I think they have to answer there in Everett.
Yeah, like everything, you guys twirled out to BC already, haven't you?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, like everything out west this year and the BC division, it looks like it's a little bit, the level's a little bit above of what we're dealing with over here. Or am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not wrong at all. The Blades went out there, they won once out there, and they won in Prince George of all places. They lost 3 times. They had an extra time loss in Victoria, a game they should have won. They were up 4-1 with 11 minutes left to go and lost it in the shootout. So that is a tough division. And the U.S. division is no easy go either. I mean, with Everett, Spokane's in the top 10 in the CHL. Tri-Cities looks pretty good this year. You have to look at those teams and say, boy, that's going to be a real knock them down, slug them out type of a postseason in that conference before you finally get around to the WHL final.
Who else from Saskatoon would draw some attention when it comes to trades?
Any of the 3 20-year-olds. I mean, Brandon Lazowski's having a heck of a season. He started late. He came in after 6 games because he was away with the Marlies in the American Hockey League. But he's had 18 goals in 25 games. So he's had a pretty good start to the year. Graydon Seepman's a good 20-year-old defenseman. Ben Saunderson, the captain, is a serviceable 20-year-old defenseman that can help with depth on the back end for some team. Beyond that, I don't think that the Blades are really seriously looking to peddle Evan Gardner in goal. He's only 18, so I don't know that they really want to do that. And Ben Reich just finished telling the team, hey, I'm not going to move and commit to an NCAA school, Quinnipiac University, until my eligibility in the WHL is done. So to all of a sudden get that kind of commitment from him to your league for the rest of this season and all of next year as a 20-year-old, and then go ahead and deal him at the trade deadline, that would kind of smack as a little bit of not that good of a deal, really, when you get right down to it. So where's the loyalty? But again, loyalty in hockey, does it really exist anymore to a degree, even at this level? Sometimes it doesn't really go that way. Those would be 2 guys that I think are long shots to possibly get moved, Barney.
What else has surprised you Eastern Conference this year, Les, so far up into Christmas here?
Maybe some teams maybe not doing quite as well, although they've started to pick it up. I mean, Prince Albert had a horrible start to the year. They've picked it up. Here they are, but they're still only in 9th place. I guess maybe that's the biggest surprise is 9 teams separated going into tonight's action by only, 8 points?
Yeah.
There's 8 points separating the top 9 teams in the conference. One of those teams is going to miss out on the playoffs. And therein lies probably part of the problem that the Blades have with going into a full fire sale mode, is that they want to be in the playoffs too. So you can trade away Molenbeek, but how much further do you go run the risk of destroying your culture to a degree and destroying your playoff chances as a result as well? So those are the things that have to come into play when it comes to the Blades. But when it comes to the Eastern Conference and who are surprises, Medicine Hat maybe not doing as well as a lot of people thought they should, although here they are in first place again suddenly in the conference. But they've played more games than anybody else. They played 34. So everybody's got games in hand on the Tigers.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when I was looking at it earlier, because the one thing that jumped out with the Tigers too is like, wow, they've got a lot of goals against, but then I looked at how many games they've played, so then that's all part and parcel. It's a market I know well, I guess. I haven't lived there for a long time. But are Saskatoon fans, are they educated enough? Because the Blades and that Saskatoon, the entertainment group has done an amazing job up there of getting people excited about Blades hockey. Yeah, the teams have been good, but they make it affordable. They get people in there. They're doing great things with the Berries, with the Rush, and all that. When it comes to the Blades, Les, will Saskatoon fans get it? Like, hey, we don't have any draft picks. We need to restock the cupboards, as it's called. So bear with us. Or are they going to be like, what are we doing, trading away our best player? We want to make the playoffs. You're not gonna be able to go 4 rounds, people. Like, will they get
probably about I don't know. It's about a 50-50 split. I think there's half of their fan base, some real hardcores that follow it really closely, that know what's going on and realize that this isn't the year to go for it. And then there's others that come in from the outside that have maybe been fans only for the last few years because they've had pretty good teams and are going, oh, what are we doing? We're looking pretty good. Let's go for it. Let's bring in a few more pieces. Who cares about it? No, you better care about it, because do you really want to go through being 5, 6, 7 years of not making the playoffs and not being very good if you don't get some draft picks back?
Yeah, it's exactly how the WHL and junior hockey, Canadian junior hockey works for sure. Okay, let's shift. World Juniors. Now, I could be wrong here, but as a Saskatoon guy and a Saskatchewan, I don't remember the last time we had 4 Sasky boys representing World Junior team.
Yeah, no, I don't remember it either. I mean, there have been 1 or 2 per year, pretty much on a steady basis, but to have 4 of them. Yeah, and I mean, the other 2 guys probably should be on the team as well. You can make that argument. Of course, you can also make the argument for a bunch of kids in all 3 leagues. And really, when you get right down to it, probably all 3 major junior leagues could each field a team in this tournament and do very, very well and contend for the gold medal. So That being said, it's too bad that Noah Chadwick out of Saskatoon with the Lethbridge Hurricanes didn't make it. And Riley Height, I don't know what he has to do. A pretty darn good player with the Prince George Cougars out of Saskatoon, doesn't make the team either. But Peter Anholt and his crew make the decision. There's 4 guys. Hey, that's still pretty darn good. 4 out of 6 guys that train together, that do a lot of things together. They're there, and it's wonderful. I think it's great. It really amps up my interest in following that tournament this year.
Isn't it? Let's first off start with, maybe let's go Tanner Howe first. It's, speaks volumes to him making that team, gets traded, from Regina. But let's remember, he went to the summer camp and took a puck in the face almost immediately and had to get rushed back home. Yep. And even when I talked to him off mic, he wasn't sure where he was going to land, hoping to get an invite to the December camp. I thought it was almost, maybe, is it a courtesy invite? Then the kid goes and makes the team. That's awesome.
He's a spark plug player. I mean, he can do a lot of things. You need a big goal at a big time, he can do it. You need him to back check. You need him to kill penalties. You need him to check against the other team's big line. Tanner Howe can do all those things. He's a guy that you can plug in and let him play in whatever role you need him to play. So he's a good man to have on a team at this level.
Caden Price, we had his dad on yesterday. Dave, absolute beauty. Talk about being proud. And you know what? They were realistic. They didn't know if he was going to make it. And then, Dave told me he got a text from Caden saying, you know what, Dad, I did everything that I could have to make this team. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But proud of him, because there's a guy on the back end that's almost like a Tanner Howe.
Yeah, you can plug and play him. I think his biggest strength, though, is his skating and the ability to make plays out of his zone and get the offense started. He can also be a one-man breakout himself carrying the puck, but he doesn't have to do that. He can do that in Kelowna because out of necessity he has to, but he doesn't have to do that with this team. All he has to do is make a good, smart first pass and then follow up, join the rush with his skating ability, and he's going to create opportunities, odd man rush type opportunities in the offensive zone with that skating and offensive ability that he has. He can do it at both ends of the ice as well when it comes to Caden Price.
There was no guarantees to make the team again if you were on the team last year, but Braden Yeager is back, and now that'd be really awkward with him being in Lethbridge with Anholt if he wouldn't have made this team. But I would suspect he's going to get a letter and be one of the leaders on this team.
Yeah, if he doesn't get the C, he's going to be an A. It sounds like they like this Nadeau kid that just came back from the Chicago Wolves in the American League, and he might be the captain. But absolutely, Yeager becomes an A, an alternate captain. Just a guy, again, whose 200-foot game is so good. He does it at both ends. And if he ever gets that shot, gets a chance to take that shot of his, which is lethal, he can be a big goal scorer for the Canadian team at this tournament.
And then the last Sasky, I love this kid. I got a chance to meet him this summer. What a great guy. Played with his dad. His dad was the exact opposite player, a feared senior, built like a fire hydrant. Berkeley Catton. This kid is so good. And I think they're expecting big things from him this year and then still around next year.
Well, I think this is his audition already for next year when he's expected to be the guy that's going to be the first-line center and carry a lot of the offensive load in the 2026 tournament. But they do this sometimes with kids as they bring them along. I mean, Gavin McKenna's on the team because he may very well only be here for 1 or 2 years. But this is Catton's chance to get his feet wet, go into it, maybe not be expected to be the big-time player, but when he gets out there, he might surprise a little bit in a third or fourth line role and put up some points in some games at big times for the Canadian team. He is he might be the best offensive player out of the group that is coming from Saskey for this tournament.
And then Pete Anholt, there's pressure on Pete, hoping to get a chance to talk to him before the tournament starts. I think so. After last year,
there is. There is. You know what? Yeah, from last year. Yeah, but you know what? Pete's like me. We're old. We're into our 60s. We don't give a rat's patoot, Barney, about what some people think about our performance. So if you're Pete, he's sitting there and going, "Hey, we've done the best we can. We've put together the best team we possibly can. We think we're going to be okay. If it doesn't happen, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep at night knowing that I did the best that I can, and who cares what anybody else says? I really hope that's the way Pete approaches it. I know he won't. I know he'll feel that pressure a little bit, but to a large degree, Peter Anholt doesn't have to apologize to anybody for what he's put together over the last 2 years and has tried his darndest. Anybody who thinks he just mailed it in, you're nuts. You're absolutely nuts. Pete cares, and I think he will. But in the end, in the long run, he's going to be happy. He'll be satisfied with whatever ends up happening for this team. He'll know he'll done his best, but he'll be really the icing on the cake if he can get that goal.
You know what makes me think that both you guys are the same? After a long, grueling round at the Waskesiu Golf Course, you just say, whatever, let's go have a pint. That's right. That's where you're both the same.
What do you mean I 5-putted the 18th hole? I do that all the time. What does it matter? That green's crazy.
Les, thanks so much, my man. I appreciate you all the time. Travel safe if you're traveling this holiday season. Obviously, there'll be some Daiboja involved.
Yep, there'll be. Yep, absolutely. But no travel, though.
No travel?
Sticking around the home fires.
Maybe I might have to buy you a vodka.
Sure. That sounds fine.
I'm up
That's
there.
Fine. Spice rum knows better.
Okay, spice rum. We'll go to Sardinia's maybe.
There you go. Let's go see Alex. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Les. Appreciate it.
Not a problem, Martin. Take care, man.
Voice of the Saskatoon Blades, Saskatoon Berries, Les Lazaruk. He knows his stuff. Great to have him on. That is also the WHL report for Extreme Hockey and Sport here in Regina. Extreme Hockey giving back with their 12 days of giveaways. Your chance to win with every purchase. Visit the store for details. They still have some great specials going on for the hockey player or athlete in your life. Locally owned Extreme Hockey in Regina. Time for a quick break. When we come back, we are hoping. Look at all the votes coming in, too, for the Christmas song bracket challenge. Lots of Alan Jackson. Roscoe's wife even voted. What's her name? Roscoe's wife votes. Alan Jackson and Elvis. 93662.
Mrs. Roscoe.
If you want to get in on that. It's the all-new Sportscage. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Streaming at sportscage.com.
The all-new Sportscage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s. Garth, Reba, Alan, Shania, George, and so much more. No cassette tape or CDs required, and 90s mullets are optional. 90s at 9 for the town of Wolseley and the voice of Saskatchewan. 620 CKRM.
Get ready for winter, all winter long, with Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. A new Bryant furnace can keep your whole home warm. And right now, you can finance your Bryant furnace with Bronco for a special rate of 4.99%. And don't start paying for 6 months. Plus, don't forget about available rebates on qualifying furnaces. Be ready for winter with Bryant at Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. BroncoPlumbing.com. Bronco and Bryant. Whatever it takes.
Merry Christmas from Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction, Saskatchewan. May your dreams drive full speed into the new year. Here's to all the best on 4 tires. Coast to Coast Auction-SSK.ca.
Merry Christmas from North Home Windows. Here's to a happy and healthy holiday season to you and your family. 306-272-4751.
Hey, how are we getting home tonight? Oh, we've got options. Cool. What options?
We can hire a ride. Or call my sister.
Yeah.
We can catch a ride with the band.
Okay.
Designated driver.
Uh-huh.
Grab a bus.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Lots of options.
The only option is to find a safe ride. How you do it is up to you. From everyone at SGI, take care out there.
Year-end blowout is on now at Watrous Mainline GM. GM employee pricing on all remaining 2024 Yukon Denali's and Tahoe diesels. Save over $10,000 over 50 remaining 2024 half-tons on ground with 0% financing and huge cash savings. Trail Bosses, Denali's, AT4s, you name it, they've got it. Get in on the year-end blowout at Watrous Mainline GM, your GM superstore since 1962.
Everyone at Freeze Tallman would like to wish you and yours happy holidays. We hope you build a mountain of holiday memories, and remember that time with friends and family is the foundation of the holidays. So don't ever cut a chance to celebrate with loved ones short, even if you'd rather lumber off to bed. We hope this holiday season is the best one you ever saw. Happy holidays from Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Qu'Appelle. Let's get you building.
We want your business on board for the Harvard Media online auction. It's easy. All you've got to do is provide items like gift cards, experiences, services, or whatever cool product you have. And in exchange, we'll give you a world-class marketing campaign. No entry fee or cash outlay, just a good old trade deal. That hammer could be coming down for you. Just hit up harvardmedia.com and join in on all the excitement. Terms and conditions apply.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
The news off the start of the show, Noah Zerr re-signing with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Good Sasky boy on the offensive line. Also, McLeod Bethel Thompson is going to Montreal, and Cody Fajardo is going to the 780, as they say, the Edmonton Elks. Dion chimed in on the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. As a diehard Esk fans, I'd be happy if Trey gets pissed about Cody's trade and asks for a trade. I'd ship Ford to Hamilton for Taylor Powell. Then we run Cody and Taylor. I'd love that. Just not a fan of Ford as my starter. There's a lot there. It's not going to happen, but I appreciate the passion, Dion. That's right. I'm curious to see how fast Cody gets thrust into the starting role when Trey sputters. We have votes coming in. A vote for Alan Jackson and Elvis. Thanks, Brent, up in Saskatoon. Wayne's mad that he hasn't got his golf passes that he won yesterday. And he doesn't.
I'm working on it.
He doesn't realize that you don't work around the clock. Wayne, we got him. Chikai. And plus, you got to come down and get them. They're not like, you can't email them. They're physical passes. We'll have some more of those on Thursday, actually. He wants Alan Jackson and Elvis as well. And we got Alan Jackson. We got lots of Alan Jackson and Elvis, like you said in the mail-in. Sharky's listening. He would not want to vote for Boney M if he got a vote. Does not like Boney M. So keep them coming, 936-6262. We are going to take just a quick break. Then we're kind of just getting everything set up on the stream with Arash Madani. As soon as we come back, we're going to talk about the big CFL trade today with Arash Madani and a whole lot more. It is the all-new Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance-free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Last Mountain Distillery, Saskatchewan's original micro distillery. We invite you to visit us in Lumsden for exclusive holiday products. Enjoy our hazelnut cream liqueur, salted caramel whiskey, and our chocolate hazelnut truffle. If you can't make it out to Lumsden, please visit your local retailer and ask for our award-winning, crisp, clean Last Mountain Distillery vodka. For more information, visit us at lastmountaindistillery.com. Thank you for spending your hard-earned money with us, and enjoy your holiday season.
Smiling wide faces and a feeling of togetherness reflect the unique magic of the holidays. May the goodwill and prosperity of the new year continue for you and yours today and always. Merry Christmas from everyone at Positively Perfect Pets, 4637 Ray Street in Regina.
JK Jr. wants to take the time to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and all the best in the new year. Curl up in front of the fire with cookies and a book about Christmas. Visit jkjr.com.
0% financing on Bronco Sport, 0% financing on Ford F-150, 0% financing on Ford Escapes. You see the trend here? Future Ford has 0% financing on their huge selection of new vehicles. The 2024 has to go, and they need to make sure they have room for all the 25s they have coming. I know what you're thinking. 0%? What else can you do? How about free oil changes at any Ford dealership in Canada and half-price extended warranty? Check out their inventory at futureford.ca or visit them at Future Ford in Melville today.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You hear those jingle bells? That means the holiday season is on its way. So it's time to start planning your work or family holiday parties. Leave the cooking to Western Pizza and enjoy all your Western Pizza favorites this holiday season. Call your local Western Pizza about catering or hosting your holiday get-together today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
The all-new Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports, 620 CKRM.
We are waiting for Arash Madani to get reconnected internet feed-wise. While we do that, I'm just going to check out on what there is in Sprinkletown this evening. If someone wanted a place of wager, going to coolbet.co here. NHL, Buffalo Sabres, they are an absolute dumpster fire. Playing Montreal tonight. Go through the Canadian teams for you here. Also on the ice, the Boston Bruins are in Calgary to take on the Flames. Like the Flames there. Plus 113. The Senators are in Seattle. Take on the Kraken. They continue that. And the Winnipeg Jets. We had Rob Vanstone, a fan of the Jets. Les Lazaruk, a fan of the Jets. They're in San Jose. Take on the very young San Jose Sharks. Locally, Junior B action. Pilot Butte, Silver Foxes, 7:30 at the Wick. Rebels are in Fort Knox to take on first place squad there. SJHL, Yorkton taking on the Assiniboia Red Wings. Melfort's in Notre Dame. Nipawin is up at the Zoo in Flin Flon. Western Hockey League, Moose Jaws and Brandon, Swifts and Lethbridge. Prince Albert Raiders travel into Edmonton. No AAA games. There's one tomorrow and no AAA female games. There's your quick little rundown there. Intro, are we going to do it? We're going. Here we go.
The all-new Sports Cage and Coast to Coast with Arash Madani is brought to you by Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Golly at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
We only have 3 minutes left to vote in the Sports Cage Ultimate Christmas Song bracket today. Arash, you're going to get one of the last votes in. I don't even know if you know some of these songs. Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas. Don't lie. Don't be a hater. You like that song. Up against Elvis, Blue Christmas. Who do you want there? It's the East Conference. Going on to the Final Four.
I'm going Mariah.
Yeah, Mariah's okay.
I'm going Mariah. Come on now.
Mariah's going to take on, if she wins, Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano. And then we have this.
Mariah's in trouble.
Yeah. Then we have this ring-a-ding-dong dandy going on here as well. Mary's Boy Child by Boney M against Let It Be Christmas by the great Alan Jackson. Who do you like?
I'm going to go with Alan Jackson. Can I ask you a question, by the way? How many Christmas sweaters do you own? I have the over-under at 6.5.
This is the only one I own. My other stuff is just regular gear. You're calling my regular gear Christmas sweater? Which one are you thinking?
I don't know. I thought
this is my former flag football team. We got Christmas sweaters made one year. Cobra Kai.
Nice. I just figured if you have one of those, you must have a few. That's where I was going with it.
No, I don't. Mrs. S has like 3 or 4. Me, okay. Yeah. I always have good ideas to get them done, and before I know it, it's like the 24th. I'm like, well, it's too late now. I'll get it next year. It never happens. Are you on holidays?
So you know how people have New Year's resolutions? I have a New Year's resolve. My promise is that I'm going to make it to Regina in 2025. And while I want to like hang out with the crew and Western pizza it and have our, milkshakes and soda pops, I do request, as part of my resolve, a 10-minute chat with Mrs. S. Because I have a lot of questions and I'm looking for answers.
I hope she's not listening.
I hope she is.
She is. We got in a little dust up this morning. Life's been too busy. Yeah, so we'll have a good time tonight. The boy plays hockey. Maybe have a Christmas drink at some point too. Kay, are you on holidays?
I am after tonight, actually. I had a bunch of meetings today, and holidays take effect the moment I hang up this call.
Because if you're watching the stream, I got a feeling that you were like at an all-inclusive lobby. And you're already on holidays.
I'm in the lobby of a building in downtown Toronto on Bay in Wellington. So
not that
it's a
fun.
corporate building.
Not that fun.
Were
you visiting your lawyer today?
Republic.
Were you visiting your lawyer?
These elevators go up to 28 and 39, and the ones down there go to 40 and 47. The Dominican Republic. This is not.
Hey, how about that trade? We know where Cody Fajardo is going now.
Well, and we know where Cody isn't going, right? Like, Barney, we were very clear that he wasn't going to Saskatchewan. But I
think
clear. It actually, right. It makes sense for a few reasons. One, it got a little weird last year with Trey Ford and McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Like, you couldn't have a quarterback room that continues that way, where MBT was the backup and then the starter and then the backup and then the starter. You almost need to have a clean break. So it makes sense to bring in a guy like Fajardo, who's a veteran, who understands how the business works, who can probably be a decent dude to Trey Ford, as he kind of goes through it. And look, the interesting part about this, and I think this is important to remember, is that when it's a trade, the contract moves. So Cody was under starters' money. They'll probably restructure it and give him a little bit up front. But this is going to make sense because Cody's going to be taken care of financially. And because of that, he can be a good asset to Trey Ford.
It makes sense, and then it doesn't make sense. I'm really curious because I don't know if they're going to be fair. And life isn't fair. If they're going to be fair to Trey now with this backing him up. But
they will. And do you know why they're going to be fair to Trey? Because they're paying him $350,000. Right? So, like, the contract is the contract. This is, like, to me, this is where it gets interesting. I'm not so sure McLeod Bethel-Thompson is necessarily the backup in Montreal next year. He very well could be. But remember, he's a free agent. So basically what Montreal has done is they've bought themselves 2 months of a negotiation window with MBT to say, look, are you willing to come into camp as the number 2? Are you willing to open the season as the backup? But Davis Alexander has shown us a small sample size of what he can do as a starter. If things go a little sideways, or if Davis goes down, are you then willing to play for playtime? Like that to me is going to be an interesting story that we should be following over the next couple of months.
Where's the next piece fall in the quarterback domino that is the CFL?
Well, isn't it interesting? Like, we're a month after the Grey Cup, and the MVP of the championship game still doesn't have a contract for next season. So what happens with Nick Arbuckle? Where is Chad Kelly in his injury recovery? Like, Arbuckle did exactly what the Argos asked of him when he came in for Cam Dukes as a starter, but especially when he replaced Kelly in the East Final and then ultimately in the Grey Cup. I don't see the Argos offering Nick starting money, but if he's willing to play for number 2 money with some incentives, there's going to be an opportunity for him there. But Barney, like, the musical chairs are now over other than Hamilton. There's no starting job up for grabs. And you have a feeling the Tiger Cats, especially now that they have their GM in place, are going to find a way to make things work with Bo Levi Mitchell. So that's going to be the one name to watch, is what happens with Arbuckle and how much will that have to kind of coincide with how the rehab for Chad Kelly is going.
Have you heard that, though we had Justin Dunk on yesterday, and the reason that Arbuckle Toronto thing makes sense is because allegedly he's been promised a coaching job.
Well, look, we know Nick Arbuckle wants to be a coach down the road. I think if there's something we've learned about Toronto this week is they don't quite know how to structure coaching contracts. Brent Monson's now the defensive coordinator in Hamilton and not with the Argos. But it makes a ton of sense if that's something you're promising. Here's the issue. This is the epitome of a year-to-year league.
Yeah.
Like, how can you promise somebody a job when you don't know where anybody is going to be after a year or two?
It definitely is. Definitely is.
Right? Like I mean, think about it. What's a good example here? Like the Hamilton Tiger Cats in 2021 got to the Grey Cup, and within a year and a half, they made a coaching change. You know, the Montreal Alouettes win the Grey Cup in 23, and by the end of 24, they've traded the Grey Cup MVP, who was their quarterback. So you can tell them, hey, wherever I go, I'll bring you on as a coach, but who knows where that'll be and when that'll be.
Okay, let's shift to the NFL. Patrick Mahomes practiced today. To me, that doesn't surprise me. You think it's nuts? Okay.
To me, it's nuts because it's a high ankle sprain. And usually those are going to be at least 2 games. Like, those can be really tricky things. And I get what you're saying. Like, for those watching the stream right now, like, when you look at the hit and when you watch him limp off the field, why doesn't it surprise you? I'm curious.
Because was it last year he did this? He had the ankle problem and he just kept playing through it?
Yeah. The high ankles are different, though, man.
Oh, I know.
The ankles are different. And look, Vegas has Houston as the favorite this week. Like, I think everybody expected Mahomes would be out this week, but if he's practicing in full without an injury designation at practice on Tuesday, what does that say about his status for Saturday?
Coulson tweeted, and like, he can't, that Los Angeles game, like, I was shocked he didn't get hurt in that game. I'm telling you, Chief fans got to be worried here.
Well, I think if you're Kansas, and it's not just because of Mahomes' health. Like, Casey's getting through week by week by the skin of their teeth. Maybe not last week against Cleveland. But when you watch games and you think about the playoffs, the gauntlet of what Kansas City could run into: Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Buffalo. Do we really think they're going to come out unscathed through that? If that ends up being their road? I don't know, man. I don't know about you, Barney. I think they're in really tough shape.
What about Detroit and the Lions? Like, obviously, Lion fans, they won. They were banged up, then they won, and then we have the test against Buffalo, and Buffalo's a really good team right now. Again, like, should Detroit fans be really worried?
Well, you have 22 starters, 11 on each side of the ball. Barney, they're down 12 with injury for either significant periods of time or season-ending deals. Like, 3 from this past week are done for the season. Carlton Davis, one of their starting defensive backs, very strong. Aleem McNeil, who they just gave a contract extension to in the middle of their defensive line. David Montgomery, who's been the heart and soul of that running game along with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, there reaches a point where you can have all the great X's and O's, but you need Jimmys and Joes. And I don't know if you heard Dan Campbell's interview with the local radio station. He said, look, we've gotten used to eating filet, but now we're back to eating molded bread, and that's what we need. And this is a great opportunity for all of our guys. It's a great line, except, man, you need your – like Detroit had been rolling with 11 straight wins because their players were really good. And now you lose a bunch of players, and I just don't know. I for the first time this season, I now think the Lions are absolutely vulnerable. And what a time for that to happen in the middle part of December.
Yeah. It's I feel bad for the Lion fans that I know. And
yeah, I agree.
Any baseball news?
Now, here's the thing. Well, hold on, but just one last thing on Detroit.
Okay.
It's not over for them. They still have Jared Goff. They still have Amon-Ra St. Brown. They still have Sam Laporta, and they still have Tim Patrick, and they still have Jahmyr Gibbs, and they still only have 2 losses this season. It just feels like it's falling apart at the seams.
You know what? Before we get to, I was going to ask you if you have any baseball news, but hold on. Super Bowl odds. I'm just looking here, going to cool bet. If anything's changed. Get Coulson. Guess who the favorite is? Super Bowl winner.
Bills. There we go.
Followed by the Eagles, followed by the Lions. Then Kansas City.
So isn't that amazing that the 2 teams that today would have the 1 seed, KC and Detroit, are the 3rd and 4th betting favorite, even though they get a bye in the first round?
Very. What kind of value does it? Baltimore's plus 850. I've always liked that value. They could rest their guys a little bit. I'd like it even more. And are we sleeping on Green Bay?
Ask you this question.
Are we sleeping on Green Bay?
That's the one I was going to ask you. As a Vikings fan, it makes me sick to even ask you what that number is, because they're very quietly 10-4. They're very quietly playing really good football, and they're about to get another skilled guy back on offense.
Plus 1,200.
It's value.
It is value.
It's absolute value. Like a 10-win team paying plus 1,200 is incredible.
Yeah, and I haven't really watched them much this year. The last 2 weeks, they've impressed me as well. Your Vikings won me money yesterday. They covered 7, so thanks for that. Well, I'm not sure if I like those jerseys that they're wearing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did you see your buddy Kirk Cousins? They just refuse to do anything with him, and Raheem Morris is now non-committal about starting him moving forward.
Yeah.
Arnie, this is validation. This is absolute validation. They didn't throw the ball in the first half last night.
I got to get when you come to Regina, I want to surprise you with a face-to-face with Kirk Cousins. You guys
that'd be wonderful.
The
mediator can be Mrs. S. What do you say?
Hey, is there any baseball news, or like people might text in and tell me to shut up? But is there any baseball news over there in Toronto?
No. I think that your audience still has a following for the Jays. Let me go over all the Jays news from today and last week and the week after. Meanwhile, the Yankees go give $200 million to Max Fried, the largest contract ever for a left-handed pitcher. Today, they trade for Cody Bellinger, the former MVP in the NL. They don't give up a ton for him. They're gonna, the Cubs are even going to eat some of the salary. I can't. Look, I've been around the Blue Jays for a while, as you know. I can't even explain it. I don't even know how to explain what they're doing this offseason. It's baffling for a team that finished in last place last season.
Yeah, the diehard fans, I don't know how you do it. Just talk about sitting on your hands and all that. Well, are we? You're on holiday. Are we still gonna do this on Thursday?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I won't be in a dress shirt, and I won't be in a corporate building. I promise you those two things.
Yeah, it's and it's allowed for a corporate building and Tuesday at time is it there? 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock?
5:52. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I just a shout out to the guys behind the glass. I usually send my my requests for visuals pretty early. I sent them 20 minutes ago, and they had everything ready and cut, ready to go. So, Colson, Curtis, appreciate you guys both.
Look at that! They just gave each other a big high five. Oh, see, you're building this team. You're helping build this team, Arash. That's what you are. You're a veteran.
Fellas, when we meet, you know what? When we, not me, meet with Mrs. S, we'll extend the meeting to 30 minutes so you guys can ask some questions too.
You guys, pigeons. Okay, let's do this on Thursday. Thanks, Arash.
Look forward to it. See you, boys.
See ya. Coast to Coast with Arash Madani for our friend Brian Gawley. Smart investing solutions. Do we got a break? We got to go to break here. It's all new Sportscage. We are streaming sportscage.com and on the radio, 620 CKRM.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Holiday savings are on now at the Wireless Age, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Save on your favorite devices, including phones starting at $0. Save on SaskTel wireless plans with special offers for new and upgrading customers and bonus data. And save on accessories and device protection plans. On for a limited time, act fast. Shop in store or beat the line with curbside pickup or free Sask-wide shipping. Get the device you've been waiting for. See thewirelessage.com for details. Your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Come on down to Extreme Hockey and Sport for that special player on your Christmas list. Extreme Hockey is giving back with their 12 days of giveaways. Come and visit the redesigned store. Check out the Bauer Fit Lab for your custom skate fitting and demo the new shooting lane. The Christmas sale at Extreme Hockey and Sport for that special hockey player on your list. Feel great on and off the ice. Extreme Hockey and Sport, 1425 McIntyre Street, and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Hi, I'm Fraser Tolmie, your Member of Parliament for Moose Jaw Lake Centre, Lanigan. I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a safe, peaceful holiday season.
Bountiful wishes to you and yours from everyone at Redhead Equipment. They hope that you enjoy every day to its fullest and greets 2024 with a smile. Merry Christmas from everyone at Redhead Equipment.
South Country Equipment has got Aaron's snowblowers in stock and ready to go, so you're armed to take on winter. Easy to start and built to last in the cold weather. Whether you need a lightweight single stage or a heavy-duty commercial snowblower, they've got the snowbank buster you need, and South Country Equipment services everything they sell. Talk with Dwayne or Nicole at their Emerald Park or Moose Jaw location. Don't get snowed in this winter. For your local Aaron's snowblower experts in Saskatchewan, call or stop by any one of South Country Equipment's 8 locations. South Country Equipment, your certified Aaron's snowblower dealer.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Playfair Daycare in Moosomin is a non-profit organization offering high-quality childcare services. They're seeking community support to build a second daycare. For information and to find out how you can win and wander, visit playfairdaycare.com. Take in the Christmas Homecoming Friday, December 27th at the Aspen Links Event Center, featuring a roast beef dinner followed by a performance by the Poverty Plainsmen and a cabaret. Advance tickets available at Aspen Links in Emerald Park. And spend your Saturdays with the Symphony. The Regina Symphony Orchestra has fun events for music lovers of all ages. See the full concert listing at reginasymphony.com.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sports Cage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On Tuesdays, it is for our Saskatchewan lotteries. main fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation. Back-to-back wins on the old Sports Select weeks for me. Speaking of Saskatchewan lotteries, I'd like to support sport, culture, and recreation. Kay Coulson, you said we're going to end it before 5. How did it go down today? Who's advancing to the Final Four?
Well, I learned something new about Twitter polls. If there's a tie, it just keeps going until one more person votes. So all I Want for Christmas and Blue Christmas were tied when the timer ran out.
Oh.
And then there was one more vote for Blue Christmas that put them over Mariah Carey. That was on Twitter. Counting in the mail-in votes, there was a lot for Blue Christmas. So all in, Blue Christmas won with 56% of the vote. Mariah has been knocked off in the divisional round.
Mariah's joining Metro as I can't believe it. They are out.
Yeah, and then on the other side, on Twitter, it says Mary's Boy Child Run. Counting in the mail-ins, 56% went to Alan Jackson. So that's our conference matchup for tomorrow with Maz.
Let it be Christmas, Alan Jackson?
Yeah.
Against Hard Candy Chris? No, you got to save Hard Candy for when I'm here. Give Maz Feliz Navidad.
No, the 2 conference finalists go tomorrow. Whoever wins there will match up on Thursday, which is when you're back.
I'm not following. The finals on Thursday?
The finals on Thursday.
Oh.
The conference finals are tomorrow.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. The Final Four is tomorrow.
I'm scared. Dolly Parton against Alan Jackson. Who would have thunk?
Yeah.
And then Jose Feliciano against Elvis. I didn't have that.
Yeah. Nobody had that on our bingo card. I think that one busted all the brackets there.
I also didn't have McLeod Bethel Thompson being traded to Montreal for Cody Fajardo today, but that happened. Also, CFL news, Noah Zerr signed with the Riders again. We're going to run that Noah Zerr in hour 3 again. Glen, Suitor, and I, it was a little pre-tape job, so we're not talking about the trade. He's in just after 5 o'clock. As well in that last hour, the Indigenous Sports Spotlight, Indigenous Athlete Spotlight, former Memorial Cup champion, former Prince Albert Raider from 1985, Danny Hodgson. It's a Monday Nooner interview that we're going to run, and very interesting guy, and he put up with a lot getting to where he had to go. 5 o'clock hour, we're up against news here. When we get back, we will talk to Glen Suitor. It's the all-new Sportscage streaming at sportscage.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. There's some drifting snow and it's minus 17 in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. A snowfall warning is in effect for southern Saskatchewan. Environment Canada says 10 to 20 centimeters of snow will fall starting tomorrow. Snow will begin in western areas in the morning and spread east by the afternoon. The heaviest snow looks to hit in a line from Kindersley to Moose Jaw to Estevan. Environment Canada said conditions should improve by daybreak on Thursday. Saskatchewan has seen a boost in agri-food exports to the United Arab Emirates, hitting $322 million from January to October of this year. That's a 19% increase compared to 2023. Lentils are the province's top export, bringing in $174 million, 31% higher than last year. Trade Minister Warren Kading says Saskatchewan's global trade offices, including one in the UAE, help producers reach new markets. Other key exports include canola seed and non-durum wheat. Officials say growing exports bring investment and jobs to Saskatchewan while helping global food security. The Canada Post strike is over, with workers back on the job this morning. The employees were ordered back to work by the Canada Industrial Relations Board last week, as the two sides were at an impasse. Brigitte Vandelar was one of the early customers this morning, but says she sides with the union.
They do have to deal with a lot of extreme weather conditions, and to be out there walking 8 hours a day carrying those heavy things, I think that they should be compensated.
Canada Post is warning that Canadians should expect delays in delivery services as the backlog is cleared. Donald Trump is suing the Des Moines Register and its pollster for, quote, brazen election interference for publishing a survey the weekend before the election that showed U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris leading by 3 percentage points in the state. The incoming U.S. president claims the Register and pollster J. Ann Selzer also committed fraud.
Just before the election, she said I was going to lose by 3 or 4 points, and it became the biggest story all over the world because I was going to win Iowa by 20 points. The farmers loved me, and I loved the farmers.
The Register's parent, Gannett Company, has dismissed the lawsuit as meritless and says it'll vigorously defend its First Amendment rights. And 900 students from 5 local community schools will be given a big taste of the Christmas spirit. The students will spend the day at Winter Wonderland at the Connexus Arts Centre tomorrow. It's a full day of fun with a tour of all displays at Winter Wonderland, which will include a scavenger hunt, a Christmas feast prepared by the staff at Connexus, and a performance of the School of Rock in the afternoon. You can check out Winter Wonderland at the Connexus Arts Centre until December 29th. Admission is a monetary or food donation to the Regina Food Bank. It's 5:03, and that's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Ho, ho, ho! And what would you like for Christmas, little boy?
I want 2 new smartphones from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer. They have all the top-of-the-line smartphones and all the latest features and a wide selection.
Ho, ho, ho! I read you, kid.
Oh. A new smartphone?
I got one too.
But I didn't.
Neither did I.
Thanks for coming through, Santa.
Ho, ho, ho!
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. echosound.ca.
'Tis the season to win groceries free.
Sherwood Co-op Food Stores presents Season's Eatings.
From now until December 22nd, shop Sherwood Co-op Food Stores in Regina, Southie, and Momart for your chance to win groceries free.
Grand prize gift cards valued from $100 to $1,000.
And the more you shop, the more chances you have to win.
Season's Eatings from Sherwood Co-op Food Stores.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Some exclusions apply. Prices vary by store. See store for details.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Steve Adamson.
Quiet and rather cold weather in our forecast tonight, but we're tracking a weather system that's going to bring some accumulating snow for tomorrow and into Wednesday night. A snowfall warning has been issued for the area for Wednesday and Wednesday night. Partly cloudy conditions tonight. The low temperature drops to -29. Thickening cloud cover on Wednesday with snow developing. Snowfall accumulating 5 to 10 centimeters over the course of the daytime, along with an increasing breeze. 80% chance of snow. The high temperature near -16. Snow likely Wednesday night, additional accumulations of 5 to 10 centimeters. The low temperature near -21, chance of snow is 90%. Thursday, a few early flurries coming to an end, thereafter mostly cloudy. The high near -17. Friday, cloudy skies with some light snow possible at times. 60% chance for snow, the high near -13. Partial sunshine on Saturday, the high around -10. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather Meteorologist Steve Adamson.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is -22, Current is -18, Assiniboia -16, Broadview Moosomin -14, Yorkton Melville -17, Estevan -13, and Weyburn is -14. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's mostly cloudy. Winds are from the northwest at 30, and it's -17. Regina has some drifting snow. Winds from the northwest at 31, and it's -17 here as well. For more local news that matters to you, subscribe to the daily newsletter at sasktoday.ca.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you big money at Matt's Furniture. Now till January 8th, save more with their Boxing Day sale. Save more with the Maytag front-load washer with extra power and 16-hour fresh hold option for $1,349. Or the Maytag front-load electric dryer with extra power and quick dry cycle for just $1,149. Upgrade your kitchen with the Whirlpool freestanding electric range with true convection for just $1,399. Matt's Furniture in Fort Capel, Kamsack, Melville, and Foam Lake, or online at mattsfurniture.ca.
The all-new Sportscage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor is brought to you by Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan, visit qualitytire.ca.
It is time for Glen Suitor here on the all-new Sportscage. We're getting close to Christmas. It's always probably nice for a player, Glen, to sign right before Christmas. It's like getting a job right before Christmas. I think a lot of us knew that Noah Zerr, offensive lineman for the Riders, was going to re-up the Langenberg Saskatchewan product, but just another domino, right, to fall here for Rider Nation.
Well, a couple things. Yeah, first of all, I think it's great that the coaching staff is putting a priority on the offensive and defensive lines. I think in going into free agency, I hope they do the same. I think that's where I'd start, making sure you, first of all, re-sign the guys you want, and that's where Noah comes in. But there's other aspects to this signing that are big. One is, he's a local kid, as you mentioned, but U of S, was his college. So you're talking about a guy who, the fans love. So, build your O-line, build your D-line, and then put in the pieces around those two groups. I'm still amazed when we get to free agency or even leading up to it where you're re-signing your own players, where coaches are throwing a lot of money at a receiver. Now, I don't want to not, poo-poo on a receiver getting paid well. I don't want them to think that I'm trying to undermine their efforts to get as much money as they can. But if you're building a team, boy, those receivers rely on the quarterback. And the quarterback relies on his O-line. Those things have to be great before the receiver even sees the ball. So I always sort of raise an eyebrow when I see, like 2 years ago, the Kenny Lawler deal for, what was it, $250 or something. And I go, okay, but Kenny Lawler is relying on two aspects of the game that he's are out of his control. So Noah Zerr, excellent to get things started as far as re-signing their own players.
Absolutely. The CFLPA report card came out. To be honest, I have no idea what this is. Walk us through this. How did the Riders do?
Okay, so there is, and I'm just getting it recently here too. So I'm going to go off this, my phone here. I'm going to have my cheat sheet here. But basically, there's letter grades for a few categories: football operations, management administration, training and medical staff, equipment, family treatment, nutrition and diet, team travel, and training camp. Those are the categories. And teams, the players will vote on their teams, and it's completely, there's no names attached to any of it, of course. But, we talked about this and how much it really matters. I think sometimes, especially when you have a bad season on the scoreboard, you're going to have disgruntled players, and those disgruntled players are going to, when it's anonymous and they can't, be named, that they will go after teams. But having said that, I think Rider fans can be very proud. I think the three most important ones, Barney, are football operations, obviously. Your training and medical should be as good. You got to feel as a player that you're safe and taken care of if you get nicked or hurt. And family treatment. I think those are really important in today's world. And Saskatchewan got an A in football ops, an A in management and administration, a B in training and medical staff, which, by the way, in those three categories, best in the league.
Ooh.
And then you move to family treatment, and they're the only team with a B. There's a couple of B minuses in there. You see Hamilton with a B minus, but they win that category as well. So, like you said, you got to take it with a bit of a grain of salt, but at the same time, football ops, management, business administration, A minus for the Riders. They got as I mentioned, a B in medical staff. Equipment was a B. Family treatment, a B. Team travel, a B. Training camp, a B. The only one that they, according to this, didn't do well in was nutrition and diet, which was a D+. But in the three main categories that I think are the biggest, if you're going to keep track of these things, that would be football ops, medical staff and training staff, how you take care of your players, and how you take care of their families. And they won in all three of those categories.
I feel like diet is on the player a lot of times, though. It's not like you walk into the locker room and they got Petahe and Kubasa and all the. It's like, isn't that a you problem as a player? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Hey, they got Twinkies again for halftime. No, that's not how it works. I don't know. Whatever. We'll have to revisit that. I want to get into that a bit. It's people that have the answers to it. Let's look at Brent Monson has a new area code, as they say.
Well, yeah, that's taken Brent. Now, Brent was the defensive coordinator for a couple of years now in a row in Calgary. Calgary has already named their staff, full staff, top to bottom. I think they're the first team to do it. And Brent Monson goes back. Now, he went to McMaster. He's a graduate from McMaster in Hamilton, so he's kind of going back home. And I think what stands out for me when it comes to coaching staffs here is we're heading into the Christmas break here, the Christmas holiday. It's going to be very difficult to do much business for the teams in the next, 3 weeks. That takes you to the first week of January, which gives you maybe 3 weeks until free agency kicks in. And you and I both know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that there'll be communications happening before we get to the free agency date. Now, I don't know this to be official. I am not blowing the whistle on anybody, but we all know that player to player, coach with his buddy, and then that gets to a player. Those kind of communications happen. If you don't have your OC and your DC in place before Christmas, then you're going to be dragging into mid-January, and now you've only got 2 weeks. And those two guys, OC and DC, have got to be in place well before you get to the communicating of the players that you want to bring in to work into your system as an offensive or defensive coordinator. So to me right now, unless I've missed an announcement, and these things happen pretty quickly, but unless I missed one, every team has their OC, including a couple of head coaches that will do it, like Buck Pearson in Vancouver. But only the Bombers don't have an OC. And every team in the league has a DC. And that is going to put them behind when it comes to free agency and the communications prior to that. Very, very important. Every day matters because you're trying to build with free agency, you're trying to build, and your draft, a team that is going to fit into the systems that you want to run, especially if you have a young quarterback. It doesn't apply to the Riders, but if you have a young Trey Ford in Edmonton, you want to be working with your coordinator as quickly as you can.
That's a good point. I didn't even think it because things are going to come here pretty quick before that February deadline. Have you heard anything on the schedule?
No, I haven't, but I've had a couple of questions that I sent to the league office and the football ops and Greg Dick at the league office that I haven't got a reply yet, which tells me that they're super busy. In fact, that's how I started my questions on my emails. I know you guys are really busy right now, probably getting the schedule together. But it's interesting that we're a few days ahead of it because, first of all, what would the Riders want to look at? What do we want to look at as a league? Well, you first of all, we got to see if there's going to be any neutral site games. I mean, I think that will be very cool to see if there's another game in Victoria on Vancouver Island, for instance.
That's why you called the office. That's why you called the office, because you want another game. Hey, this is Glen. Can we get another game in Victoria, please?
Well, there was a couple of hints in, if you've got any inside info that you could just slide my way. I'm not necessarily an insider, but I always throw those into the questions that I send the league office. But, like neutral site games, and I know there's been some discussions about whether Saskatoon could do that. And so, and of course, Quebec City, I think that's going to be sort of where they start. And then we have to have, obviously, I believe we should have, I'm not sure your opinion on this, Barney, but the rematch of the Grey Cup should be in week 1 for sure. I think it's easy to build the stories there to kick off our season with, the rematch. Of course, the Labor Day rivalries have got to be back in there. But one thing that I'm really hoping in the schedule that hasn't been in it for the last couple of years is that every single team plays each other home and away. Like there should not be a season go by where Montreal doesn't travel to Saskatchewan or Toronto doesn't travel to Saskatchewan. That was kind of a COVID, watch your budgets travel thing that was going on 2-3 years ago, but that's long since passed. And now it's time to get back to at least home and away. Preference for me, I'm not sure about you, Barney, but preference for me would be in the division early and late. So you kick off the season with some real cool divisional matchups.
Bookend them with,
and then bookend them there.
Yeah.
And if you're going to get into some details, I know the league looks at trying to eliminate or get rid of, or at least minimize as many short weeks for player safety reasons. There's that you got to look at.
Yeah.
The business aspect. Every team wants a different day. I know Amar Doman in Vancouver, he really pushed for and got early kickoff times in the summer. So he was getting some 4:30, 5 o'clock kickoff times so that people could travel from Surrey and other places outside of Vancouver, downtown Vancouver, and get their kids back at home in bed.
Yeah.
And that was a huge success. I'm not sure the percentage of increase, but a big success. So there's a lot to go into the schedule that I know that they've got to be working hard to get out before Christmas, because it could be Christmas presents. The schedule, you can buy season tickets.
That's kind of what I was saying at the start. I'm surprised that it wasn't released even last week. We had Craig Reynolds on last Friday, and we talked, and he kind of gave us a little bit of a look behind the curtain, because fanatics, right, fans, they're like, how come? And it's like, there is a lot of bouncing balls when you're putting together any kind of schedule, let alone like putting together a minor baseball schedule is difficult. Now you got professional teams, you got other teams in venues, you got holds for concerts in some venues. There's so much staffing. Then you look, and Omar Doman, he wants his earlier games. Maybe the Riders will want to do that next year a bit, during the times. I think the one thing that we talked about a lot last year, and it's probably, I think it'd be under the microscope more this year, is those short windows, for player safety, because there was a lot of complaining about that. The Riders didn't have it easy. They were flying all the way to the east on short weeks. And then it seems a team like, and I guess there probably wouldn't be a lot of competition there until college starts, but a team like Montreal, it seems like they want their Thursdays.
Yeah. And, so every team has slightly different requests there as far as which is their best day or best night for games. The Riders obviously love to have the chance for people to come from out of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of their deal, and I'm sorry, but I am not going to give the alibi to the league office that there's too many balls in the air that they can't have something ready before Christmas. They can be working on this post Labor Day, start working on the next schedule well before the current season is over, because the teams in the league, unless we're looking at a 10th franchise that would change it all, then the teams in the league, where they are, the cities. You can't put it in final form until you get those requests coming in from each team, but each team should also be ahead of that game well before the end of the regular season. So I'm not going to give them an alibi on that. And, when it comes to the other one that I know we talk about a lot is those bye weeks and how they work. I would hope that if you have to have a short week and every team has to do that you're not traveling to the east if you're in the Western team.
Yeah.
That to me is another big one that they need to really take a hard look at. I'm not sure they have in the past. And then the final one to me is kind of when you get those bye weeks. And to me, this is a difficult one, Barney. What would you rather have? If you have it in week one, you have a strategic advantage because you've seen all the teams in real action for a week. So your pregame prep before your first game has got a bit of an edge on the other teams. You know, if you have it early and you, like, let's say you get off to a wobbly start, like you lose your first 2 games and it just doesn't look right, and you get one right there, that could sort of get you back on track. But then you'd want one mid-season to rest. You'd want one near the end if you're in the playoffs and you want to rest some players. It's like that's a tough one when it comes to bye weeks to me. I don't know how you kind of can plan when they best used. Maybe by the next time we talk in the new year, they'll have something out. But yeah, getting it before Christmas, like you said, for the presents would have been great. Okay, so we won't talk until we will talk on Thursday, right before Christmas. And then we're gonna run down all of our presents that we bought. Wouldn't that be something if it was released tomorrow? Have you got your wife's present yet? Yes, it's been affected by the mail though. A lot of husbands are going to use that as an out this year. Well, mail. Mail. Oh. Thursday, one more time, okay. Glenn, before the holidays. Thanks, buddy. Okay, thanks, Barney. Yeah, that is Glen Suitor, and press coverage for Quality Tire. 9 locations across Saskatchewan. QualityTire.ca. Time for a quick break. You are watching the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com, and as always, the home of the CFL and the Riders, 620 CKRM.
This is Country Gold with Steve Harmon, your home for the country hits of the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Hello, I'm Steve Harmon, inviting you to join me for Country Gold. Each week we play country favorites from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and we check in with the stars who made them, too. This weekend on Country Gold.
Country Gold, brought to you by Trent Dickin and his experienced team at Flooring Superstore. Saturday mornings at 6 and Sunday afternoons at 4 on the Voice of Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.
The staff of JJ Trucking in Arcola would like to take a moment and consider those things that truly matter during the Christmas season. Merry Christmas and best wishes in the new year from everyone at JJ Trucking, 306-435-2429.
Everyone at Bronco Plumbing and Heating would like to extend the very best to everyone this Christmas. Enjoy the peace and joy that are all around this season. The management and staff of Bronco Plumbing and Heating in Emerald Park wish you a very Merry Christmas.
You know something? It's like selling a 6-pack with only 5 beers in it. Wood Country Woody here, reminding you that unlike some other places, Wood Country Garage Packages contains everything you need, right from the start, including appearance-grade lumber, all your nails and screws, and walk-in doors with cladded jambs. Building a garage? It's one and done with Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Shop online. wood-country.com.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You hear those jingle bells? That means the holiday season is on its way. So it's time to start planning your work or family holiday parties. Leave the cooking to Western Pizza and enjoy all your Western Pizza favorites this holiday season. Call your local Western Pizza about catering or hosting your holiday get-together today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You'll get the gist of it? Will I? Does a gist have to be given? Can I just take a gist? You know what can be really tough to get the gist of? Saskatchewan winter driving conditions. But at least your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Discoverer Snow Claw winter tires. Cooper Discoverer Snow Claw winter tires provide exceptional grip and traction in the snow and ice. See your local Cooper tire dealer for Cooper Discoverer Snow Claw winter tires. They'll help you get the gist of winter driving.
Nelson Homes is having a year-end blowout sale of select quick possession homes that you don't want to miss out on. Save up to $40,000 on in-stock show home and spec home RTMs. Available for quick possession and spring delivery. Find out more at their website, homes.nlc.ca, and click Quick Possessions on the top banner. And for general information, call 1-800-661-6534. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. SJHL tonight in Assiniboia, the Red Wings. The Assiniboia Red Wings. Home to Yorkton. Melfort's at Notre Dame. Nipawin is in Flin Flon. Junior B, Prairie Junior Hockey League shoutout. Pilot Butte taking on the Regina Silver Foxes at 7:30 at the no-concessioned Doug Wickenheiser Arena. And the Rebels are taking on Fort Knox. Fort Knox is in first place. Some hockey around the area this evening. Speaking of hockey, we teed it up. It's our Freeze Tallman Indigenous Sports Spotlight right now. It's an interview that we had on the Monday Nooner. If you want to listen to the full interview with Danny Hodgson, you can go and find it on Monday Nooner. Some great stories. Harold Ballard, his NHL days, his one-liner on the bench when he wasn't getting played in Vancouver is an all-timer. But they won the Memorial Cup in 1985 in Prince Albert. The only time the Raiders have always won it. A lot of you, if you're following the league back then, you remember the infamous picture of Danny in the Memorial Cup. Anyway, Indigenous Sports Spotlight for Freeze Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Capel. You can see them for all your building needs. Here it is, little Danny Hodgson. Does it seem like it's been 40 years since that Memorial Cup, or does it one of those things that it's like, nah, man, it just feels like yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know. It has its moments for both sides, I'd say. Sometimes I think it feels like yesterday, and then when I really think about it and see the number 40 up there, it does feel like that too. So I get a feeling of both sometimes, depending upon, I guess, the mood and how I'm thinking about it.
Are you close with any of the guys from that team? Do you still keep in touch with some of them?
Well, my right winger, Dave Pizzine, and I are close. We've always been close. We knew each other from Bantam and Edmonton before we went to Prince Albert, and we were tight there, best friends, and we've remained close right throughout all of these years. There's other players that not as close, but still relatively close enough. You know, you check in every now and then.
That team, like you guys were good in the regular season as well. Like, was that the expectation, is to kind of win the dub, to make a run at the Memorial Cup that year, like going into that year?
Yeah, it was the total expectation from all of us, management, Simpson, Wilson, right on down. I captained that team, and I made it well known throughout our dressing room too that we have our sights set on the cup this year, and it was really one-dimensional. There wasn't anything else to be talked about, and having said that, it wasn't like stress or pressure. It was just, that's what we want, and we just want to play our best hockey to strive towards that goal.
I just got a unique question about that tournament in particular. Just reading online, it was supposed to be played in Shawinigan, but they had to move after the second game because of some of the support beams or something in the rink. What do you remember about that? That's crazy.
Well, I do remember that. We played one game in Shawinigan, actually, our opening game, the only game we lost against Shawinigan, but I never thought about that. That's out of my hands. The camera work and all that was televising the event. But in hindsight, I'm kind of glad we got out of that little rink, because it was like Saskatoon, like double. It was dark. It was dingy. It was a pretty nasty little rink to play in, and I could see where Shawinigan would have a home ice advantage there for sure.
You're in your hometown of Fort McMurray. What was life like growing up in Fort Mac back in the what would it be, late 60s, early 70s? Were you a hockey player right from when you're a couple years old, or when did you start playing the game?
Yeah, no, my father had me playing hockey when I was about 5 years old, 6 years old. I remember, him taking me and shoveling off the rivers and stuff around, not the rivers so much, but little lakes and stuff around here. he would have me out there. But we came from a big athletic family. Mom and dad were both athletes, and I have 6 older brothers and older sisters. And we boxed, we did track and field, volleyball, basketball, every sport there was, we did. But I took a real shining to hockey. I felt that I was pretty good at it. And then my father and my mother, they seen how much A, I loved it, and B, maybe I was pretty good at it. And so they seen fit. But Fort McMurray, though, in particular, it was a great place to grow up. It was a really small, close-knit community back in those days. Like you said, the early 70s. Things were just getting ramping up, I guess, in the oil sands. And it was great place to grow up. You could walk everywhere and you knew everybody. And it was one of those types. I moved to my parents moved me to Edmonton when I was 13 to play Bantam AA. So I only played here up until I was 12 years old. So we did our normal, little road trips to, say, Coal Lake and Edmonton. Maybe we went twice a year, but we played just in-house here in Fort Mac. And back to that, I think I was blessed. There was a lot of good athletes, good hockey players from Fort McMurray, even back in those days. And maybe guys didn't really get the chance that I got. But there was good competition in and around here, Fort McMurray. But back to traveling, we didn't really travel that much. And that's one thing that my father seen, that he really wanted to get me to Edmonton. So A, I could get better competition, and B, get out there and mixed amongst other players, that thing that I wasn't getting up here. My mother actually moved down with me. So what ended up happening was my mother and my younger sister, we all moved down, and my father stayed up in Fort McMurray for work. So he would always come down on his days off. And, that's a story right there that I'm very proud of my parents. This is, when they did this was, say, 1978. And things were just, like I said, people were moving to Fort McMurray. And now you have a family not only splitting itself up, but also taking a chance and moving down 63. That's the highway that comes up and down here to Edmonton. People thought my parents were crazy. There's a little Indian family here going to Edmonton to try to do something in that. And they really, my mom and dad tell stories that a lot of the parents would talk to them and they'd kind of chuckle and go, "Oh no, that's crazy," and all that stuff. But my parents believed in it. They believed in me. Another great quote my dad always said, he said, "Son, I knew you were that good," he said, "but I just needed to see for myself." And then he said, "What I didn't know was you were that good." And so you made all of these things kind of make sense.
Was it tough? Being Indigenous, First Nations, going down when we interviewed Jordan Tutu, right? Like, obviously he came from Rankin Inlet, which is different, but there was, the racism and he had to battle through. Was there any of that for you, Danny?
Absolutely, there was. Back to my father again at a young age. He told me, "Son, you're being Aboriginal, being an Indian boy, you're gonna get the insults, you're going to get the racial slurs, you're going to get all this. You're just going to have a thick skin." And not only that, but a big thing that he impressed upon me was, and not only that, son, you're going to have to be twice as good as the next guy, because they're not going to look at you the way they look at them. And, I'm a young kid and I don't really understand all this stuff yet. I never really got into because growing up in Fort McMurray, there was a couple Asians, there was a couple black guys, there's Indians, there's whites. But we never really thought about it, to be honest with you. We weren't immersed into like, that's black and white and Indian. We weren't like that. I know for a fact I never was. Of course, I wasn't naive to not know, but I wasn't around it. And so, but anyway, but my father, he really kind of braced me for that. And sure, playing hockey, and if you're a little bit better than the other ones, you're going to get it. And I got it. For sure I got it. It does kind of piss you off a little bit. But the thing that I always kept in my head was they weren't telling me anything I didn't already know. If you're calling me an Indian, well, sometimes I'd remark back to them. I remember having a laugh. I'd say, "Oh, yeah, thanks. I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot I was Indian there for a second." And that kind of really got them. I remember that getting them pretty good, and they were just like, didn't know what to say.
Like a young Wendell Clark, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, what do you remember about Wendell down the road in Saskatoon?
Oh, Clarkie was, we heard about this guy in Saskatoon. And actually, I think Clarkie came in our second year in the league, and we weren't bad by then. But yeah, no. He was tough, man. He was tough to play against. And I just remember watching him. I got a few Clarkie stories, actually, World Junior. And I remember one, this is our Memorial Cup year, and I remember Clarkie was flying around out there, and that was the year he was going to go first overall. And he was taking runs at everybody on our team, and and I remember Simpson asking Baumgartner and Manson if they're going to let him do that all night, and they pretty much said, yeah, they are going to let him do that all night because they didn't want any part of him that night for whatever reason. But he was really on fire, Clarkie, that night. So what ended up happening was I ran into Clarkie behind the net accidentally. We both kind of went down, got up, and I thought, well, we're here anyway. And I was the captain of our team that year. That's our Memorial Cup team that year. And I actually ended up playing with Clarkie on the World Junior, but I had to fight Clarkie behind the net in Saskatoon. So that's not a great memory. I remember about 3 punches. Like, I started pretty much straight up, and the next punch a little bit tilted, and then by the third he was landing on top of me. But I think I got my point across to the boys. I said, yeah, we can't be happy. And I just said, Clark, you quit running around. You're scaring our whole team. That's enough of that.
Yeah, like I said, the full interview Monday noon, if you want to go and download that and listen to it. Some really good stories in his NHL career. It is the all-new Sports Cage, streaming sportscage.com, always on 620 CKRM.
Yorkton Auction Center wants to take the time to thank you all for a great year and wish you and your family all the best into the new year. Merry Christmas, friends. All the best for this holiday season. YorktonAuctionCenter.com.
Merry Christmas from everyone at Johnston's Grain. May the new year find you and your loved ones healthy and full of life. All the best for the Christmas season from Johnston's Grain. Johnston'sGrain.com.
Grow bold with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine, available at Nick's Service. The Fendt Ideal 10 offers 790 horsepower and features the same Fendt ID engine speed concept made popular in the lineup of tractors. This means maximum horsepower and torque are achieved at lower RPMs, giving you tremendous fuel efficiency. With a 485-bushel grain tank capable of unloading at 6 bushels per second, turn downtime into dust with the Fendt Ideal 10 Combine. See one today at Nick's Service in Emerald Park.
This winter, make sure you have tires that are ready to handle the snowy and icy roads, and get them at Quality Tire. If you don't have winter tires, this is the time to get them. At 7 degrees Celsius, the rubber on all season tires start to harden in the cold. With winter tires, you'll be able to stop sooner and avoid the accident in front of you, and start driving quicker in case the car behind you doesn't have winter tires from Quality Tire. With 9 locations across Saskatchewan.
QualityTire.ca. Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon
and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Just put your trust in me.
Hey, how are we getting home tonight?
Oh, we've got options.
Cool. What options?
When I'm up, I can't get down.
We can hire a ride. Or call my sister.
Yeah.
We can catch a ride with the band.
Okay.
Designate a driver. Grab a bus. You see?
Lots of options.
The only option is to find a safe ride. How you do it is up to you. From everyone at SGI, take care out there.
Merry Christmas from all of us at Last Mountain Distillery, Saskatchewan's original micro distillery. We invite you to visit us in Lumsden for exclusive holiday products. Enjoy our hazelnut cream liqueur, salted caramel whiskey, and our chocolate hazelnut truffle. If you can't make it out to Lumsden, please visit your local retailer and ask for our award-winning, crisp, clean Last Mountain Distillery vodka. For more information, visit us at lastmountaindistillery.com. Thank you for spending your hard-earned money with us, and enjoy your holiday season.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Donations to the War Amps have a lasting impact on amputees. Today, your support gives them the artificial limbs and resources they need for everyday activities and learning to live with amputation. Having access to our essential programs helps amputees prepare for tomorrow on their road to independence. The War Amps is committed to improving the quality of life for Canadian amputees, but this wouldn't be possible without you. To learn how your donation helps, visit waramps.ca.
Here for you when you need us. Call or text us 306-936-6262. Driven by Capital Ford Lincoln, Saskatchewan's #1 Ford retailer. CapitalFordLincoln.com on 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to the all-new Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
We had a lot to get to today. Glen, Suitor, if you want to go back and listen, still no schedule in the CFL, unfortunately. And then off to the start of the show, the Riders re-signing offensive lineman Noah Zerr from Langenburg, Saskatchewan. If you missed that interview, you are in luck because we are going to run it again here right away. Maz is in tomorrow with the C's. Full show there. I'm back on Thursday. Curtis Colson, thanks so much. I'll talk to you Thursday. Get all that holiday shopping done. Here it is. If you missed it, the interview with freshly re-signed offensive lineman Noah Zerr. Just inked his new deal with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Noah Zerr joining us. If you're watching the stream, there you see him. So let me get you're living up in Saskatoon, Noah. Is that where you are right now?
Yeah. Spending my off season in Saskatoon right now.
So no trips back to Langenburg, like not even for the 21st Churchbridge Langenburg big senior hockey tilt.
Maybe. I'd like to go back there when I can for sure. I was just back in Esterhazy giving a speech for their minor awards night, and that was really fun.
Right on, yeah. Congratulations. Probably nice to get this done before Christmas, or does it really matter when it gets done?
Oh, it's awesome to get it done before Christmas. Absolutely. I think it's a deal that makes sense, I think, for both sides, and I'm just excited to get back to the grindstone with a great team and a great culture, and just excited to get back at it.
And then, people are talking, right? Like Harris re-ups and the band is kind of getting back together because last year, people got to remember, Mueller was new. Like there was a lot of new pieces to this offense.
Yeah, there was a lot of new pieces, a lot of new additions for sure. I think I was one of them. But I think Coach Mace and all the coaches he brought with him, Mueller, Edwin Harrison, our O-line coach, I think they do such a good job of building a strong culture. And it may have been their first year, but it felt like we had kind of been there grinding with them forever. And they just do such a good job of making it a normal 9 to 5, but helping us get in our rhythm and prepare for every game like we should.
We had Edwin on a couple times on the show. Great guy. And like what you guys, him and you guys, everybody had to deal with the injuries on that offensive line last year. That was no easy task.
Yeah, it was a bit nutty for sure. I think we started I want to say 12, 13 different guys, but I think just everything we had in that room, I think we had everything we needed in that room. I think our veteran leadership was great from guys like Yoshi and Philip Blake and Logan Ferlin and Peter Godber. I think they helped the guys that didn't have as much experience kind of get ready for those games and get ourselves mentally prepared and expect to see all the things that maybe we hadn't seen before. So it was that veteran leadership in our room was huge for us, for sure.
It also seems too, and again, it's kind of one of those things where you hear sports and then every different teams and all that, and it's like, oh yeah, they're a close-knit group, and they get, but what this really seems legit. And when we had Trevor on last week, he talked about how he can't wait to go back and the chirping with Samuel Emelis and just that bond that you guys all have. It seems it's not fabricated. It seems, real.
Yeah, I think it absolutely is real. I think our coaches do a great job of kind of fostering that culture, but I think from all the guys we have in that room, I think it's just easy to feel like you're playing college football again. You know what I mean? Just busting your buddy's chops and he busts yours and we're all kind of laughing and joking, but all still we're taking our jobs very seriously and approaching every day like it's our last day to get ready but still having fun while we do it. And that's huge.
I want to get to college in a bit because you gave me a great segue there, but just the last thing on the signing and being a Sasky guy, how do you put that into words? How just important that is? You played, I think Perry said you played in Yorkton, and then I'm sure you always dreamed about playing for the green and white, but just how do you put that in words, how special it is for you?
Well, I think for every Sask kid growing up in Saskatchewan, it's really easy to fall in love with the Riders, and I think it was for me from a super young age. I was going to games, and my dad was getting every ticket he could. I remember scrounging up some last minute tickets to the 2013 Grey Cup. Those are memories that I'll have for a lifetime, and it's so surreal to be back home playing with the Riders, getting my first kind of opportunities with the Riders. It's been a really wild ride, and I've enjoyed every single minute of it, from heading in halfway through the Labor Day Classic to starting in the Banjo Bowl. It's been such an up and down roller coaster, but being at home and being with these guys and being in this culture, I think it's really a dream come true, and I just can't wait to do it again next year.
Is there a quick story behind these 2013 Grey Cup tickets? Something? How did you get them?
I don't know. I have no idea. My dad, I think, was scouring Kijiji or eBay, and there's some guy. I remember some guy maybe on the PR or something for the Riders had these last minute tickets. He must have got them for free or something. But they were great seats. He sold them to us for a pretty penny, but they were great seats. We got on-field passes and everything. It was really crazy. For a young Sask kid, it was the nuttiest day of my life for sure.
Dad pulled through Kijiji. I love that. That's old school, right? No Kijiji idea. And used Regina back in the day. Those were good.
Yeah.
Okay. The college days, you're a U of S Husky grad. You protected Mason Nias for years. We just talked to his dad, Perry, here. Mason's coming back to the U of S, right? That's great to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge. I think it's great for the program. I think it's great for Mason. I think he's been a coach since the day he stepped on a football field. He's just such a cerebral football player, and I enjoyed playing with him every minute I did. And honestly, he was just a great team guy to be around. But he really he knows how to get the best out of people, and I think he was huge for us through that kind of 2018, 2019, 2021 run. And it's so great to see him coming back to the program and giving back his wealth of knowledge with the game. And I'm just super excited for him and the Huskies and what they're going to do.
Right on. Well, I know it's a busy day, and we just got word on it, so congratulations. Thanks for taking some time. New contract. If you do go back, maybe watch that Langenberg game, you're going to have to buy a round at the tavern. You know how that works. Noah, thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Right on.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Saskatchewan Roughrider signed offensive lineman Noah Zerr joining us here on the all-new Sports Cage.
620 CKRM is your home to country's greatest hits and the 90s at 9. 1 full hour featuring the biggest hits of the 90s.